The AFL Premiership Season 2002, brought to you by its premier partner, Carlton and United Breweries, and our telecast sponsors, Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL, Strathfield, Ford dealers, ordinary people doing extraordinary deals, Nintendo GameCube, get into it, Doors Plus, no fuss, Truscott Hi-Fi, best advice, low price, Discount City Carpet Superstores, Booze Brothers, and just say the word, yes, Optus.
The Lions are making the trip to the Crow's Nest with a lead of 5-3 in the head-to-head battle and a 2-1 record at Football Park. The Crows belted the Navy Blues last week and will be hard to beat at home tonight in front of their parochial fans. Jason Ackermanis plays his 150th game and will be desperate to make it memorable. It's first playing fourth. Can the Brisbane Lions stop Adelaide from crowing? Find out tonight on AFL Saturday.
Saturday night football in Adelaide. Footy Park, round 10 action between the Adelaide Crows and the Brisbane Lions. The Crows are in fourth position, 6 wins and 3 losses. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, dispatching of the Blues by 56 points last week. But they haven't beaten the top 8 team yet in 2002. They've faced the league leaders, Brisbane, 7-2. They've won 3 of their last 4 also. Defeated Fremantle last week by 30 points. In Jason Ackermanis' 150th game, can they continue their fine record here at Football Park? Good evening and welcome. This promises to be an absolutely fantastic game. A big test for Brisbane, an exciting challenge for Adelaide as I welcome our expert commentator, Chris McDermott.
Jason, it's a huge game for Adelaide. As you said, haven't beaten the top 8 team yet, and they come into 5 of them in the next 5 weeks. They have to win tonight, in for a great game.
And it has importance for the ladder as well. We see Brisbane there on top of the heap, but there's 5 teams coming at them. One of them is Adelaide.
Yeah, that's right. There's a real bottleneck there. Important game for Adelaide. Brisbane's sailing along nicely at the top of the ladder.
And just outside the 8, the Kangaroos now, courtesy of their great win last night. 4 teams there on 4 wins. A huge game tonight, as we mentioned. 2 of the best midfields in the competition, Brisbane and Adelaide, and they will go head-to-head tonight, Chris, as we look at the stats. Adelaide in the top 2 in all those categories.
Well, the interesting thing for Adelaide is the hard ball gets. That wouldn't have been the case last year, and the clearances, no doubt, the best team in the competition of that. Andrew McLeod, the key player in that department.
So just looking at those stats there, it looks like Adelaide will have an advantage around the stoppages. There's their 4 key movers.
Yeah, Kane Johnson, I mean, he's been a revelation for them this year, fit and in form, and Mark Bickley in career best form this year.
So 93 possessions between the 4 of them and 22 goals. We look at the Fab 4 for Brisbane, almost exactly the same number of possessions, but look at the goals, almost double for Brisbane.
Yeah, that's the real important thing. Jason Ackermanis and Michael Voss both push forward and kick goals, running over lines, very important players.
So there are Brisbane coming out on the ground, as you mentioned. Jason Ackermanis, 150th game. He believes his best footy is still in front of him. If he can stay injury-free over the next few years, that is an exciting prospect indeed, as he leads the side through the banner with skipper Michael Voss there. They're here on a mission tonight, Brisbane. Some unusual training techniques during the week. We caught up early with Brisbane coach Lee Matthews.
Yeah, well, I guess the Adelaide midfield's no better than it's always been. McLeod's been a champion for a few years now, and your Goodwins and your Shudos and players of that ilk, Bickley, guys like that. But yeah, Doughty sort of just all of a sudden emerged as a good player, and Bode's doing the same just this last few games or this year. So and that's why a side probably elevates itself a bit more. The group that has always been good plays well, but a couple of others come up to join them. Yeah, and Jonathan Brown hasn't had a great year to this point, so we think there's much better in him. And yeah, Craig McRae always gives us some Luke Power. So yeah, that's a pretty good group. You know, we're pretty comfortable with what they've got up there. I guess we've scored more than anyone else in the competition at this point, so one has to think that our offensive game's been quite good.
And how'd you go with acclimatising the players with all that loud noise at the Gabba the other day?
I don't know. It was only to give the press something to write about, and I succeeded magnificently.
A job well done, Lee.
Thank you.
Great story that, amongst all the science and modern technology in footy. They just turned the PA on, had the Adelaide crowd cheering in the background, just to try and acclimatise themselves for the cauldron here at Footy Park.
Well, that's important, because if Adelaide get away to a flyer here at Footy Park, they are extremely difficult to beat. It's important for Brisbane that they get on the scoreboard early.
Well, Brisbane have a great record against Adelaide in recent times. They've won 4 of their last 5, including their last 2 here at Footy Park. But the last time they met was at the Gabba. It was round 9 2001, and it was a thriller.
Adelaide headed to the Gabba with some promising form under their belts. They faced the Lions, who were looking to put their season back on track after dropping their last 2 matches. It was tight from the word go. The home side up by just a goal at the main break. The outcome of the game would rest with Lion Marcus Picken. His shot for goal from 70 metres out after the siren. The Lions 5 points down.
It has to go in excess of 60 metres in distance. Didn't get it. No, not quite. So the win is there.
The win moved the Crows back into the top 8. It would be the last game the Lions would lose all season.
Being Becca is tough.
You ever thought of giving me a little more respect around here?
Well, I thought about it. But being a doctor is even tougher.
Hey, Doc, want me to take my clothes off? Because that's no problem. What the hell's wrong with you?
Becca at 7:30. Then at 8 on Raymond. Robert's living every man's fantasy.
I never thought I'd have 3 women in my whole life.
Hey, we all lost money on that bet.
But is the pain worth the gain?
Honesty. Don't believe the hype.
Everybody loves Raymond. Following Becca Tuesday on 10.
Mate, we're running on him. Better pull in.
Fill us up, mate.
Thanks.
Fill up on KFC's ultimate 3-piece feed. 3 pieces of original recipe chicken, regular chips, potato and gravy, and a dinner roll, and a Pepsi, and a real dairy avalanche. It's KFC to the max.
Hey, I've got a seat here saved for you. No, I want you to sit down.
You'd be popular too if you're offering tax-free cars and trucks, like a Cotter van, tax-free, and Courier, tax-free, but it must end June 30 and only from your Ford dealer.
When it comes to furniture, man, no one beats Liquidation King for price. Floor coverings, no one comes close to Discount City Carpets, baby.
Discount City Carpets' huge stock take sale is on now, with massive price reductions on timber flooring, ceramic tiles, vinyls, rugs, and thousands of metres of carpet clearing at genuine savings. Some stock below cost. Discount City Carpets' biggest stock take sale yet.
Now that's a sale.
Discount City Carpets, superstores and super warehouse. Your one-stop flooring shop.
So Jason Ackerman playing his 150th game this evening, been a wonderful player, debuted back in 1995, was the All-Australian back pocket in 1999, also won the best and fairest, and then exploded in 2000 and 2001 to win All-Australian and Brownlow medal honours last season. As we look at the 2 lineups, and welcome my co-caller this evening, Mark Aston.
Yeah, hi Jason and Chris, good evening to you and good evening to everyone. Some wonderful matchups, big night for Shell, big test for him.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Brett Burton in the forward pocket showed some good form last week, been troubled by a groin injury. He's a key player for Adelaide.
Yeah, White and Stevens, that'll be an interesting duel. Johnson a key for Adelaide.
Yeah, certainly. Mark Stevens back to form last week, kicked 4 goals, a very important player, stands under the footy extremely well.
And the midfield, what can you say?
Well, look, if Rashudo and Voss line up against each other, that'll be a tremendous matchup. Don't expect it to last like that for long. Mark Rashudo, 6 goals last week, he'll be up forward at some stage.
And Brown, obviously very dangerous.
Yeah, Kenny McGregor in after a couple of weeks back at the Eagles at SANFL level. He played on Brown before, and Crows are desperate for him to play at centre-half back, so that's a key move.
And Lynch, dangerous as well, and that should be an interesting duel if Smart picks him up.
Well, look, once again, Nigel Smart getting the key forward, doing some good jobs. Got touched up last week by Whitnell, but I'm sure he'll do well tonight.
And it'll all start in the middle, Chris, and the ruck duels are going to be fascinating.
Look, it certainly will. I mean, the Black Goodwin one, hopefully that's one of the matchups we see. Both tremendous players. And Andrew McLeod, if he and Ackermanis go head-to-head, that'll be a great duel, but expect Sean Hart to get the job on McLeod.
Okay, let's have a look at the benches. Notting, Copeland, Carman and Shattuck for Brisbane, and Massey, Johncock, Biglands and Laddams for Adelaide. Here's the toss coming up right now. Ackermanis and also Mark Rashudo. Up it goes. And Rashudo decides to kick to the northern end of Football Park, a capacity crowd. It's all set up.
So the Crows to the left of the screen. Ackermanis tossing the coin in his 150th game. Let's head boundary side now. Here's Francis Leach.
A real sense of anticipation about this one. A bit of dew on the grass, so the ball might be slippery at ground level, but a still night, a very cool night, so we should have a fantastic contest, a real game for the aficionados. Even if you're not a fan of either teams, it's a real Saturday night on the couch special with these two great teams going at it tonight.
There's Alistair Lynch. Kicked 21 goals for the season. We can see contrasting styles tonight, Chris. Brisbane lead the competition in set shot goals, mostly from inside 30 and mostly from directly in front. Adelaide, on the other hand, 14th in the competition for set shot goals. They like to kick theirs on the run.
Yeah, they certainly are much better at taking a contested mark inside 50. Adelaide have really struggled in that department. They get their balls from their running players, as we've said, and they'll really need those players, the Johnsons, McLeods and Rashudos, to be on song tonight. Crows need to get away to a flyer. When they do here at Footy Park, they are extremely hard to run down.
And it is a big crowd in, a huge crowd. Bassett Lynch. Be a fantastic duel. If you look at the other end there, Shell starting on the goal line. Now Michael. Burton there as well, being picked up by Scott. All in readiness for the opening bounce here at Football Park. It's round turn action between Adelaide and Brisbane. Opening bounce. Clark got the tap. McLeod tries to run onto it. Rides the pike bump. Umpire comes in. Quick whistle.
And there's the interesting one. Andrew McLeod starting outside the centre square, being picked up by Chris Johnson.
So there's Johnson. His first crack at Andrew McLeod this evening, averaging 22 touches a game, McLeod. Keating got the tap. Chance here for Hart. Ackermanis with him. Hart picks it up. Great smother from Ben Hart. And he gets an early touch. Kicks towards half forward. Rashudo's his target, 2 to beat. Headland drifted across the back of the contest. Put body on body with Stevens, who kept it going forward for Adelaide inside the 50. Welsh. Ashcroft goes back to collect for Brisbane. Does so now and gives it off to Headland. Has a bounce, takes it outside defensive 50, uncertain of his options. Little handball, put his teammate Black under pressure. Bode came in to put the pressure on him. White, he's wrapped up, free kick plucked out, it's going Adelaide's way for a hold. It was just off the back of the play there, and it's going the way of Johnson. So there's White being wrapped up in the tackle. Great pressure early there from Adelaide. The ball inside 50, and the mark is taken by Stevens. And Adelaide may well get first shot on goal here from Mark Stevens.
You made the call, Jason. It's just the pressure from the Adelaide Footy Club. We saw Benny Hart affect the smother and the tackling. It's been a real feature of their game this year, especially the attacking pressure from their forward line. And the result, a mark to Mark Stevens inside 50 in the first shot at goal for the Crows.
So Stevens, 71 goals, 52 in his 95-game career. Kicked 11-9 for the season as we look at the reverse angle from 50. On its way, no problems with the distance or the accuracy. Opening goal to Mark Stevens.
And we talk about the effect of the crowd here at Footy Park, and they are straight into this contest. One thing you don't want to let Adelaide do is get away to a flyer here. They are very difficult to run down. Mark Stevens finding some space inside 50. He started to find some form last week after a pretty indifferent season, kicking truly from outside 40. The ideal start to the Crows.
He took 9 marks last week, kicked 4 goals, and that's the perfect start for him tonight in front of a capacity crowd here at Football Park. Up they go again. Keating and Clark out of the middle. Brisbane, though, down towards centre half forward. McRae to Ackermanis. Very quick and slick. Ackermanis, long drop punt. That is good footy, but he's hit the post. Gee, it was a big build-up. A huge build-up for Brisbane, but he's hit the post. It's a behind. Adelaide 1 goal, Brisbane 1 behind.
Bassett with the kick in. Goes straight up the middle. Voss sets himself. McGregor flew over the top. At ground level, Doughty to Stengline. Towards half forward. Stevens attacks it again and takes another strong mark. Got his confidence up early, has Mark Stevens. 20 touches last week. He's in very good form. Undecided of his options now. Couple of false starts. And now goes in 50. The lead's on from Burton and he takes it out in front of his face. Just got away from Brad Scott on that occasion. And he's taken the mark 40 metres out from goal.
And what a difference a week makes in footy. Mark Stevens against North Melbourne probably had one of the worst games of his career. Turned it around last week against Carlton and started this game in tremendous form. And again, Brett Burton, who again found some good form, moved to the goal front last week against Carlton. Very good and strong on the lead. Marking truly. His kicking is maybe not a feature of his game. He's a little bit indifferent in front of goals.
2-5 last week.
Important that he kicks this one for his confidence.
12-7 for the season. From 45 metres out. Almost a carbon copy of Mark Stevens. And Adelaide have the first 2 goals.
Well, just the...
You've got one night to save Mario from the supernatural. Luigi's Mansion. Only for Nintendo GameCube.
Start for Adelaide. They're 2 goals. Brisbane Lions, 1 behind. We've played 4.5 minutes of the first quarter. Bounce of the ball in the middle. Brisbane trying to work it away. Voss to Ackermanis, another touch. Cleverly, left foot. Out wide. He's got to Power. And the marker's taken. Luke Power chips inside 50 to a loose body. And they've got a big opportunity here. And it is through the middle. Simon Black has scored the first goal for Brisbane. They're 1-1-7. Adelaide 2 goals 12.
And that's the beauty of the Brisbane midfield. We spoke about it in the pre-match. They do push forward. Jason Ackermanis getting his hand on the footy a couple of important times, and there Black just pushing forward and kicking an important goal. A great response to Brisbane. They needed to get on the scoreboard early. They've done that and been able to silence the crowd.
So good direct play straight up the corridor from both sides. We'll see a midfield shootout tonight. Both prepared to back themselves against their opponents. Keating against Clark. Clark, the secondary taps, left it out in front of Johnson, who hacks it off the ground. Inside the 50 again for Adelaide. Going back there with the flight of the ball. And now wrapped up in a tackle was Johnson. We'll have a ball up.
You look at the midfield roles, and a lot's been said about it. Brisbane appear to have the one extra midfielder. At this stage, it's Jason Ackermanis. He's on Doherty at the moment. That appears where Brisbane may have an advantage.
Keating. Disposed of by Clark, who got the tap. Goodwin's kick went straight up in the air. Johnson waits underneath it. Hart and Voss come across to force a contest, and Black takes it to the line for a throw-in.
Tyson Stengline, the Crows tagger, been given a job on Nigel Lappin tonight.
Simon Black under severe pressure there. We expect to receive that attention all evening. 23 touches a game he's averaging this season. Clark palmed it down to Rashuda. Got foot on ball. Centred it up. Chance here for Pike to tidy up at the back for Brisbane. Handball to the run of Scott. Comes around the member's side. Looks for the boundary line and finds it. Just back at a centre wing for Brisbane. We've gone 6.5 minutes in the opening term. It's the Crows by 5 points. In front of a huge crowd here at Football Park. Let it throw in. Clark over the top. Palmed it down. Shark by Lappin, kicks towards half forward. Chance here for Ackermanis at the back. From 55 metres out, Ackermanis attacks the goal front. Lynch tries to shepherd, but the kick's offline. Misses to the right-hand side. Ackermanis second behind for the evening. Brisbane moved to 1-2-8. The Crows are 2 straight goals. We've gone just over 7 minutes in the opening term. Bassett to himself and then left foots it. He's having a very good season. Into the middle, 4 or 5 up, no mark. Clark at the front, Pike cleverly done. That was superb footing. Opportunity for Johnson, had it, lost it, got it back. Now to Voss, about 55 metres from goal. Clever kick looking for Lappin, can't find him. Here's Powell, and Powell's kicked the second goal for Brisbane.
Mayday, Mayday, Mayday! The Doors Plus May sale is now on. Our warehouse is bursting with stock. Thousands of doors must be moved in the next 2 weeks. You will save on a large range of entry doors, bifolds that save you space, French doors to open up your home, add style and value with feature interior doors, and entry combinations, the finishing touch to your home. Plus, we can fit, stain and deliver. Save at the Doors Plus May sale now on Australia-wide. Doors Plus, no fuss.
It is a bright opening at Football Park. Both sides attacking strongly. Brisbane snatched the lead for the first time. Keating wins the tap. Lappin had it and lost it. Pressure came from Dowdy and Bickley. Bickley to run onto it now. Sockers it out of mid-air. Bode. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Gave it away to Voss. Chance here through Johnson to Ackermanis. Possession number 4 in his 150th game. Goes inside 50. The target is Lynch and he takes a wonderful juggling mark. Good strong hands there from Alistair Lynch. And with a body the size of his, once he puts it in front, it's hard to get round him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nathan Bassett's been in tremendous form this year. Stitched up most of the best forwards in the competition, but as you said, Lynch on the lead like that, a very difficult proposition. And once again, Jason Ackermanis getting some very important touches early in this game.
Deceptively quick on the lead, isn't he? You see a bloke of his size, but you saw Bassett was giving it everything there, but just couldn't catch him.
Bassett's not slow, but you're right. Giving him 5 metres, he's hard to run down. Again, a forward who's kicking can let him down at times, but from this distance, sometimes he can miss.
21 goals, 8 for the season, Alistair Lynch. Kicks for goal for Brisbane's third. He likes it. Brisbane have 3.
Well, after Adelaide getting the first 2 goals, Brisbane have certainly found their feet and responded. A couple of very important players, and here's one, Jason Ackermanis, getting several balls inside 50, finding Alistair Lynch on the burst on that occasion. And Lynch from 30 metres out on a pretty acute angle, kicking truly. And Brisbane are away and looking dangerous.
You're right, Ackermanis, 4 possessions. 3 of those have gone inside 50 out of Brisbane's 5 inside 50. So he is the danger man at the moment, getting 3 across half forwards.
8 the difference. Interesting stat about Lynch is that he's kicked 18 goals at home and just 3 away. We'll make that 4 now. There's Lappin kicking the centre half. A wonderful one-handed mark taken by Ben Hart. He switches play, goes to the far side. Stengline, hand pass, pumping it to the former skipper. That's Bickley, 75 metres from goal. Long bomb inside 50. They need a mark. Adelaide, front and square, Brisbane. Chance for Burton. Well done. Headland tried to get his kick away. Successfully does it only as far as Adelaide. Chance now for Pike, passing his way through the pack. Sends the footy hurtling into the middle. Brisbane away. For Power. It'll go back to Brown. Brown taking a long time to pick up. Eventually he gets it. And an opportunity now for Lappin. Down ground to about 50. About 55 metres from goal. Adelaide with the numbers though. Tyson, Edwards, cleverly. Didn't panic. McGregor. Well, it went through his hands. Now he's in trouble. He tries to slap it alongside the boundary line. Close. Well done, Voss. Knocked it to the advantage of Lappin. Now to Pike. So Brisbane about to go into attack again. Pike kicks to about half forward at the back as McGregor. This time he's punching. Keating in trouble. Hand pass to Brown. 75 metres from goal short. Powell, he's already kicked a goal inside 50. He's got Black running for him. He needs it to bounce okay. If does, they should score another. And they do. Another to Brisbane. That's their 4th. They're 4-2. Adelaide 2 goals.
Ooh, and just a...
Strathfield, the best deals for your wheels with the biggest brands in car sound. Detachable CD tuners, out they go, $99. Price crash. Sony 180-watt CD tuners with 3-way 6-inch speaker package, the lot, $229. Sony detachable radio cassette and 6-disc CD changer, not $599, now only $388. Kenwood 170-watt 6x9-inch speakers, now only $94. 4-channel 500-watt amps, half price, now only $99. Strathfield, drive it and drive away. Call 1311 77, catalogue out now.
And the visitors skipped out to a handy 14-point lead. Black has 2. Possessions 33 to 17. Brisbane twice as much of the football around the ground. Keating got the tap. Lappin got first hands on it again. Voss crashes through with his head over the football. Umpire lets it go. They're trying to work it out of there. Keating got hands on it. Got it to Rashudo. Rashudo to Goodwin. Sweeping handball to Johnson. What can Adelaide build from here? Over to Bickley. It's got a man running. It's Bode. Bode runs to 40 metres. Shot at goal from Bode is good. Adelaide get one back.
Well, boys, it looks like we're in for a shootout. Brisbane having control over the last 5 minutes. But Matthew Bode has been an important player for Adelaide this year. Goodwin getting the ball to Johnson. To Bickley, the Crows' key midfielders, Bode getting on the end. And inside 50 on his preferred side, the left leg. He's been a great acquisition of the Crows this year, fit and in form. Played extremely well last week, kicking truly, and getting the Crows back into the contest.
We spoke about the importance of clearances before the game. We're seeing it now. If these two sides can get open space, they really can hurt you on the scoreboard.
Absolutely, and the Crows on that occasion had struggled at the clearances, but got it away from the centre on that occasion, resulting in a goal.
26 to 18. That's 8 the difference. Clark, still Clark. McLeod, no real pressure. And then sends it out wide, looking for a target down there. Couldn't find Dowdy. Brisbane with numbers around the footy. Voss backwards. Ashcroft kicking over the pack. Lappin takes the mark. No, he dropped it in the end. Now he's under pressure. He's got real problems. Umpire says play it on. Stengline, not sure what to do. Eventually went with the kick. Thought about the hand pass. But the kick in the end, perhaps not the best option because the mark in defence has been taken by Des Headland, who had his best game last week for Brisbane, playing at half-back. Couldn't let his side down then. good mark, and then found now Michael, who goes short to Voss. Bickley with pressure, and Voss stationed at half-back. 33-odd touches last week, 3 goals. Outstanding. Ashcroft now down to right half forward. Bradshaw can't mark. Turnover here. Johnson. Perhaps another turnover. Voss in the back, was it? No. Umpire says play it on Ashcroft again. And Brisbane from the wing. Johnson down toward right half forward. No mark. That was Brown up in front. And still in play. Power has already kicked a goal. Good persistence. Didn't let it go over. Inside the 50. Smart in trouble. Bradshaw got him. Crows under enormous pressure now. Out to Johnson at half-back. Bickley. Now, if Bickley can pick up here, he's a chance. He's going to be attacked by Voss. Great tackle by Voss. Struggle. Bickley again. Still with Bickley, they're over the top, and the umpire eventually comes over, and he will bounce on the wing on the western side.
Not so many players with the body strength in the competition to take a tackler head-on like that. Michael Voss, what power.
Oh, look, he's brilliant. Just had his head down, a perfect tackle, knocking the ball clear. That's why he is such a great player.
So Clark got the tap down to Bickley. McLeod in there working hard. Just the one touch from McLeod. We saw it a couple of minutes ago. He's been quite early.
Well, Hart's been moved on to him. Johnson started on him. Hart's been onto him now. Done an extremely good job. The thing that impresses you about Brisbane at the moment is their reflex handball. It hasn't been a feature of the game over the last few years, but tonight, very, very good.
Handball received 16-8 in favour of Brisbane at the moment. There's Johnson. Tries to get it out and get it going for Adelaide. Over the ball was Hart. McRae's in there. It's pretty fierce, as you can see on screen. Bow dives on top of it. They stack in on top of him, and we'll have yet another bounce. Brisbane by 8 points. 9.5 minutes remaining in the opening term here at Football Park. And this already shows signs of being a very entertaining, free-flowing contest, but plenty tough in close. Clark up the tap again, getting first hands on it regularly here, but going nowhere there was Bickley. Great close-up. We'll have yet another bounce. No hiding in the packs these days, is there? These cameras can get right in there.
Nothing is sacred.
Clark again, Keating one up this time. Put it out in front of Brown, but running on it was Hart. Pike takes him to the line, dumps him over, and we'll have another throw in.
I mean, both teams so tough in the tackles. I mean, not only are they good free-flowing teams, but they both tackle hard and do the 1% as well.
Right on 50 for Brisbane. Clark got it down to Bode. Hacking it out of the air there was Johnson. Black tried to pick it up. He was dragged to ground. Voss with poise onto his left boot. Squares it up. Great vision. Had a man on in space. It was Notting, and he marked 60 metres out from goal. Plenty of men inside the 50, but still space for the Lions to lead into. Lynch offers one. Now doubles back to the goal square. Notting goes back. Looks like he's going to have a shot from here. He winds up from the front edge of the square. Thumps it long. Thumps it very long. Right to the line. There's Lynch. Got hands. Punched away, and a throw in alongside the boundary post.
And I mean, Michael Voss just marvelled at him all the time. I mean, on the left foot, kicks it 50 metres to the centre. Fantastic work.
It's at boundary side, Francis Leach.
Nigel Lappin came off moments ago. The physio's just having a look at his right eye. He's receiving some attention. He should be okay to come back, though.
Throw in deep in attack for Brisbane. Clark got it down. Bode put off it. Suffering in there was Johnson. Black. Handball looking for the voice of Pike. Here's Lynch outside 50. Went to ground. Tackled by 2 Adelaide players. They'll have a ball up just outside the 50 for Brisbane.
26-18. 7 minutes and 50-odd seconds remaining until quarter time. Bounce just up from the forward pocket for Brisbane. Jaw slightly ajar. Hart. Well, he played it inside and then kicked it down toward half-back. Goodwin, close to the boundary, just like Hart. McLeod through his hands, a rare mistake, slippery footy though. Ashcroft, he was hovering in the end. No, he's going to miss out, Ashcroft. No, he's going to get it now. He slips over, now he's in trouble, Ashcroft. Held without the footy, umpire didn't agree. Pike's about to run onto the football. McLeod's got him, crunching tackle, umpire to bounce. Great one-handed pick-up under pressure there from Pike.
Well, especially given the fact that there's probably a little bit of dew on the ground at the moment. It's been a very cold day here in Adelaide today, and it can get slippery out there on footy park at some occasions. Great work from Pike.
26-18. 26-18. Brisbane in front. Adelaide started well. Brisbane came at them and then overtook them. Rashudo. Bode. Round the corner, down toward left half forward. Stevens being held on to. Stevens will get the free kick. He was prominent early. He's got the footy right now. He's 75 metres from goal. He's looking for a lead. Burton doubling back. It's going in that general vicinity. Burton flies. Burton 2-3 grabs. Can't mark. Brisbane trying to work it away. Headland does well to Notting. Notting out of the back pocket. Brisbane out of trouble. The attack around the outer side of the ground. Ben Hart leads in the race for it. The boundary line may win. Hart thought about keeping it in. Couldn't quite do so. They've yet another throw in. So the pattern of this game, Chris, pretty early on, it's nice and tight and tough in close, and then when it gets broken open, both sides just going for broke.
Yeah, I mean, the ball will transfer up and down the ground very quickly all night.
Sharman now in the ruck, up against Clark, again, palmed it down. Edwards snaps it inside the 50. Stevens attacks it. White's got a hold of him. Ackermanis just lurking, crashing in there was Goodwin, dragged it back underneath, gets it out now. Scott, was he taken high? Play on. McLeod toe-poked it out to Bickley, 48 metres out. Flying shot at goal, misses the lot, out of bounds on the full. So there's the former skipper Mark Bickley. 4 touches for him. Johnson leads for Adelaide. Kane Johnson, 6 touches. Goodwin's had 4 for Brisbane, 6 each to Black and Voss. Lappin and Power 5 apiece. The ball's with Notting. Deep in defence. Long kick towards the outer side of the ground. Clark worked underneath it by Charman. Mark not paid. McRae to Black. Just glides around the outer side. Beautiful kick right onto the chest of Brown.
He is a beautiful mover.
So Jonathan Brown towards half court. Bradshaw's his target. One out with Smart. It clears the back of that contest. Stengline attacks it for Adelaide. To Smart. Around Bradshaw. Handball back to Stengline. High kick around the outer wing. Pack will fly. Brown in front goes up. Takes a good strong mark. Hasn't been as prominent this season as last. Kick towards Voss. Set him up a little bit. Stengline came in to put pressure on. Brought it to ground. McGregor to Stengline. Up towards the wing. McLeod. Clever little give. Release Prosciutto. What can come of this? It's an open forward line. Burton from behind. Worked him underneath the football. Well, Chris Johnson had front position. Burton almost looked out of the contest. The question would be, did he get him in the back? Let's have a look on the replay. He certainly did. That is as in the back as you like.
Look, they pay those these days, and look, you could probably forgive the umpire for paying in the back, but that is the beauty of Brett Burton. Doesn't always look like poetry when he goes up, and the match-up against Chris Johnson is not a good one at the moment, but his hands look on song tonight, Brett Burton, and when he's catching them cleanly like that, he is a very, very difficult proposition to stand.
Well, you can only suggest the umpire thought Chris Johnson went the big Greg Louganis dive there, but it's Burton from 40 metres out. Can he convert? Crowd suggests he hasn't, and indeed they're right. He misses to the right-hand side for one to Brett Burton. And Adelaide, their first blemish, they're 3-1-19. Brisbane are 4-2-26. The visitors by 7 points. We've gone 22 minutes in this opening term, just under 5 minutes remaining. Johnson preparing to put the footy back into play. 26-19, as Jason said. Good kick, accurate. Pike up from the back pocket. Loose in defence last week, did well, having a good season. Chipping over the top to a loose man. So Brisbane about to go forward. Sean Hart to Scott. Scott kicking through centre half back to Pike, who's run into space. Now he can set something up from defence. Now up towards centre half forward. The forward down there for Brisbane fell over. And, well, Adelaide are able to wrap it up. Biglands goes out wide. Doughty all by himself, chipping it downfield. Burton, 26-19. Burton goes long to Welsh up in front. Oh, good mark taken by Shell. Strong grab as Bickley comes on. And Shell will go back and kick from about 25 to 30 metres out. Slight angle.
Yeah, you're right. It was a fantastic mark from Daniel Shell, putting himself pretty well in front of the pack, getting off the ground beautifully. And he's been thrown a lifeline with the injury to Ryan Fitzgerald. Took a couple of catches last week, and an important one now, and must finish off in front of goal. Again, not the most accurate of kicks, but he must finish from here.
Okay, this is a reverse angle shot. So it's taken from the other side of the ground, and you can see clearly that, well, you can see Daniel is disappointed, and you can see clearly that he missed. It's 4-2 Brisbane, 4-2-26 Adelaide, 3 goals, 2-20, and we've played 23 and a half minutes of the first quarter. So Bickley runs the boundary line, replaced by Laddams. Chris Johnson with the kick in.
3.5 minutes remaining in this opening term. They're milling towards the members' side of the ground. You can see that's where Johnson's looking. That's where all the players are. He goes short, looking for and finding Headland. So Des Headland starting in defence tonight, coming up for his 4th possession. Number 1 pick in the 1998 draft, just starting to blossom this year, playing some good solid football. Kick around the wing, looking for Charman. He goes up in front of Biglands and takes the mark. His 10th game of football, big raps on Jamie Charman.
Bit to like about him, he moves around the ground very well, very athletic, and takes a reasonable mark. Looks like he's got a future.
So Charman up to the wing. Brown was his target. Coming across to take the mark was Goodwin. The Crows break inboard. It's Rasciuto. Thumping kick towards centre-half forward. A big pack will fly. Johnson over the top corner to ground. Here's a dangerous McLeod. From 45 metres out, uses it and buries it.
It's stocktake time at Truscott Hi-Fi. And Dave the Storeman is flat out. That's the bad news for Dave. The good news for you is there are lots of bargains. Pioneer DVDs $50 off. Sharp G-Code VCRs $50 off. Sony DVD home theatre systems $300 off. Sony digital still cameras $200 off. And Conker 68cm TVs $100 off. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
Andrew McLeod is first. It's 26 apiece. We've played 25.5 minutes first quarter. It's been a thriller. 4-2, plays 4-2, nothing in it. Latter stages of the first quarter. Lappin, high kick to a pack of about 4 or 5, and the mark is taken. Strong mark by Brown. He's going to kick from about 65, decides to go short. Perhaps not the best option. Bradshaw, smart. Well, he just pushed Bradshaw off the footy and then went in again. He's outnumbered now, and it's over the line, and the umpire will toss it in at left half forward for Brisbane.
Had one of his poorer games for the season last week on Lance Whitnell. No shame in that. But tonight doing a very good job on Bradshaw.
Just over 2 minutes remaining until quarter time. Biglands on hands and knees. Black, intelligent leader, Lappin. Danger here. Door well and truly open. Boss, right foot kick. He misses, or has he missed? No, he's got it. He's got it. Boss has got a goal for Brisbane.
Big Brother did a worldwide first and nominated them all. You were nominated.
Really? Oh. What?
7:30 Sunday, it's the most important night yet. Each and every housemate is nominated for eviction. But that's not all. Big Brother has another nasty surprise up his sleeve. In a special 2-hour episode, you won't just vote out one housemate, you'll evict 2.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
Who will they be? Double eviction, 7:30 Sunday.
So Brisbane snatch back the lead. They lead by a goal. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the opening term. There's Tim Notting having a spell. Back in the middle. It's been a shootout. Can Adelaide fight back? Here's their skipper, Rasciuto. Great hands to Johnson. He spears it inside 50. Stevens the target. Got hands to it. Timely fist there from White. The handball comes to Welsh. He's on 50. He can wind up. It's a high ball. It's to the line. And it is through for a goal, is it? Welsh likes it. A goal. Beautiful finish from Scott Welsh.
And like it he might, he has been in absolutely scintillating form this year, can do nothing wrong. And just playing that opportunist half-forward role. Michael Dowdy, the handball, and Welsh from outside 50 makes great contact with the footy. That is a great goal and a great response to Michael Voss's. The shootout is well and truly on.
John Cock about to come on for Adelaide. He does so now. Doughty, the man to come off to the bench. Scores levelled yet again. 1.5 minutes remaining in this opening term. Lappin, high up and under kick towards Hart. Has it gone to 15? The umpire says it has.
So Hart now, 32 apiece, sideways. Now to Pike on the western side. Oh dear, have a look at Lappin. He's metres in the clear, and he's taken the mark 60 metres from goal. 28.5 minutes. 1 minute and 13 remaining. Oh, he's looking for Bradshaw. Lynch, in fact. Hart, kick smothered. Lynch did well to keep it in the area. Lappin again, backwards to Pike. Pike inside 50, so a late goal possibly here for Brisbane. Here's Lynch, tucked away right forward pocket. That is a pretty good effort, but he's missed. It was a good effort, but he has missed. It's 5-3 Brisbane, 5-3 Adelaide, 5-2, and around about a minute to go until quarter time. So Bassett will come towards the members' side. Hartsy's target, and he takes the mark. Crows will be pretty happy with this. Brisbane have won 8 of their 9 first quarters in 2002. The Crows are right with them here. Bode, handball to Welsh. Tries to get around Brown, got legged, slipped down in the tackle, and Welsh will get the free kick. 34 seconds on the clock. They'll need to move it quickly. He doesn't know that. So Welsh has kicked a goal already in this game. Coming up for his second possession. Spears it inboard. Oh, target was McGregor. Through his hands. Through the hands of Black as well. There's Copeland. Wrapped up in a tackle by Laddams. Oh. McLeod just dribbles it through the legs. Appropriate if he gets on the end of it. He does. He's 48 metres out. What can he manufacture? Beautiful little kick around the corner. And Shell will have the last kick of the quarter.
A manufacture he does, as he always does, Andrew McLeod. And a very, very important kick for Daniel Shell. As we said, he's been given a lifeline due to injury from Ryan Fitzgerald. But his kicking for goal has really let him down over the last couple of weeks. He's taken some important marks, but missed some important kicks for goal. None more important than this one. Full forwards and quality forwards have to kick these goals.
4-7 for the season. There's Shell. You can see the angle from the reverse. Kick this from about 35 metres out. After the siren at quarter time, on its way. And he's popped it through the middle. So Adelaide will head for the first change in front. They're 6-2-38. The reigning premiers are 5-3-33. The margin is 5 points.
Tom Cruise. Superstar.
He set me up.
Before you see him in Minority Report, 9:30 Sunday, see him in the original all-action thriller, Mission Impossible, 9:30 Sunday on 10.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. Chemicals from tobacco smoke get into your bloodstream and can damage the delicate blood vessels inside your eye. We now know that smoking is a major cause of irreversible blindness. Every cigarette is doing you damage.
What's with the aftershave?
Not bad.
Smell beautiful if you're a girl.
Been paid out lately? Keno, with over 3 million paid out a month, you could win it by the minute.
Yes, it's that time of year again. Paynham Home Furnishings and Leather World's winter sale is now on. Stella Leather Lounge, 3+2, only $19.50. Domani Cherry Entertainment Units, wow, $18.90. Sterling Lounge, 3-seater plus 2 recliners, incredible, $26.90. Delivery with up to 12 months interest-free terms during Paynham Home Furnishings and Leather World's winter sale. Open 7 days.
Rockers have pulled out all stops to bring you some of the biggest bargains in the surplus stock sale catalogue.
Valvoline XLD Premium 6 litres for the price of $5, $13.95. Screwdriver set with bonus precision set, $9.95. 100 amp booster cables price slashed to $9.95. Pro Sound CD tuner with detachable face, save $20, now just $1.49.
This is one sale catalogue you don't want to miss. I didn't think anyone could move so fast.
Check the catalogue out now.
Footy, pie, footy, pie, footy, pie, footy, pie, footy, pie, footy, pie, footy, pie.
Don't get confused. Nothing has the kick of a Balfour's original footy pie, the official pie of the AFL.
Kerry Ellis Golf huge free stock take sale.
I'm Kerry Ellis, and this is one sale you will save money.
Massive savings on top quality Cobra golf sets. Riley's including Crows and Port reduced to $19.95. With 5 Kerry Ellis golf stores across Adelaide, it's not a long drive.
Hello? Yeah, look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I could send you a quick book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131-848. 131-848.
He's had some class acts.
I'm controversial.
Oh, and this week, Rove's got 2 international guests you just can't miss.
Willem Dafoe, Mandy Moore.
Plus more of the stuff you love. Rove Live, 9:30 Tuesday.
Quarter time here at Football Park in Adelaide, and as the home side 6-2-38, leading Brisbane 5-3-33. Only the second time Brisbane have trailed at quarter time this season. An exciting opening term, Chris McDermott. Adelaide got on the board early, Brisbane fought back, and then Adelaide rallied late.
Look, it was the shootout we were looking for. A great start. You know, both midfielders getting hold of the footy, pushing forward and kicking some goals. A great clash early. Let's hope it continues, boys.
There's more round 10 action on around the country tonight. It's in Melbourne at Colonial Stadium. It's Collingwood versus Sydney. We're into the second quarter. If you don't want to know the scores, look away now. So there's Lee Matthews laying down the law for his players. Certainly has been a shootout in that opening turn. Both sides taking the ball primarily straight up the middle of the ground.
Yeah, look, it was fantastic to see. And Michael Voss getting his hand on the footy early. His great vision. Nigel Lappin falling over, but Luke Power really proved the danger early, and as did Jason Ackermanis. His first 5 or 10 minutes, he got the ball inside 50, finding Alistair Lynch on that occasion. It was dangerous until Simon Goodwin went on to him halfway during the quarter and shut him right out of the game.
Let's head boundary side now. Francis Leach is with the assistant coach of Adelaide, Peter Curran.
Peter, you must have been very happy with the way the team managed to keep with Brisbane in the first 5 minutes, then really match it with them for the rest of that quarter.
Yeah, look, they gained the ascendancy there for about 5 or 10 minutes and were able to wrestle it back, so but it's a pretty good game out there.
You have to get those big fellas to convert when they pull down those grabs, though, don't you?
Yeah, no, it's been good so far. 6-2 is a pretty good effort for the first quarter. See if we can get on it.
Thanks for being with us, Peter.
So we saw at quarter time something a little bit unusual. Brisbane didn't come straight into their huddle. They wandered across the ground. Francis Leach had some more information on that. It was an interesting thing, wasn't it, Chris, just to see they didn't come straight to the huddle with Lee Matthews. They wandered away.
Yeah, what they are actually doing is walking it out. It's called active recovery. They move away from the huddle just to get the lactic acid out of their legs and get prepared for the second quarter. So it's just a method to make sure that they're refreshed before they get back into the action for the start of the second quarter.
Thanks, Francis. Lactic acid. Do they have that in your day, Chris?
No, that must be a modern terminology, that one. I don't think I ever ran hard enough to get lactic acid.
Sounds like something you get from your cult or something, doesn't it? So it is quarter time. It's Adelaide by 5 points. Almost set to go in this second term. 4 single goal kickers for Adelaide. For Brisbane, Simon Black has 2. As we start the second term. Umpire puts it down. Keating in the ruck against Clark. Lappin to run onto it for Brisbane. Gathers now. Little handball release, Voss. Voss a high kick towards half forward. Powers his target. Got Edwards to beat. Edwards got it to ground where Hart gathered for Adelaide. Swept the handball towards the boundary line. Voss against Bickley. Ball goes over for a throw-in.
Got a feel for Tyson Stengline, boys. So far, the game's been going 30 minutes. He stood Michael Voss, Simon Black and Nigel Lappin.
And had 7 touches himself. Equal with Kane Johnson as most for Adelaide. Lappin's had 11 for Brisbane. Pike 8 and Voss 8. Throw in, clears the ruck contest. Keating at the back. Slapped with the advantage of McRae. Pike at a fresh area. Comes down to Johnson for Adelaide. Dribbles it around the outer wing. Hart leads McLeod to the ball. And then heads for the boundary line. Umpire says throw it in. Andrew McLeod, just the 4 touches in that opening term.
Yeah, but was pretty damaging with a couple of them. Got a couple of them resulted in scoring opportunities for Adelaide, but Hart's done a very, very good job on him and very lucky on that occasion not to get pinged.
Clark and Keating again. At the back, Hart off the ground towards Johncock. Attacked it on the bounce, did beautifully. And then with pace, explodes away from Brad Scott. Kicks it inside 50. White wrestles with McGregor. It spills to the back. A chance here for Ashcroft. Paddles towards the line. Walsh tries to keep it alive. It's still there in the forward pocket for Adelaide. White dives in on top of it again. Umpire no choice but to bounce about 25 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
Yeah, the Darryl White and Mark Stevens match-up's an interesting one. Stevens certainly started the game well. It doesn't look ideal, but see how long that one lasts.
Frenetic start. Here's Clark. Chance for Stevens. Kicks it to the front of the goal square. Looking down there for Shell. Can't find him. Rashudo to Goodwin. Just a bit too quick. Well done, Ackermanis, putting pressure on Goodwin. Out wide. Opportunity for Brisbane to work it away. Well done, Burton over the footy. Pike with him. Just outside of 50. Underneath the old scoreboard, which reads 6-2 to 5-3. 38 plays, 33. We've played 2 minutes and 13 seconds. We've got 18 odd minutes remaining until half-time. So early stages, second quarter. Clark got his hand to it. Very busy, slapped out of there. Picked up by Johnson. Almost a mark to Rashudo. Storming out, went through his hands. McLeod was in the general area. Now that looks as though it's in the back. It is against Stevens. And Power to take the free kick inside the defensive 50 for Brisbane.
Well, during the week, Neil Craig suggested Rashudo wouldn't play forward, but he's spending a bit of time up there at the moment. Marcus Ashcroft still shadowing him. But the ball's with McRae. Runs away from defensive 50, puts it out in front. Courage of Brown. Beautifully done there by Bode. Slapped it to the advantage of Goodwin. He's got a man in space at half forward at Stevens. He's 65 metres out from goal. Keating got there quickly enough to make sure he had to go back and kick over the mark. Stevens winds up, thumps it long. They'll contest 25 metres out. Big pack flies. Michael got a fist. Got it to ground. Rashudo tracks back. Lappin puts his head over it. Scott there as well. It comes to Welsh. Welsh turns, spots a man on 50 and delivers to Kane Johnson. They have to kick this close to 60 metres, Johnson. His 10th possession. False start, now goes again.
Head of the square.
Decides to kick it to the top of the square. Pack will fly. Clark drifted across the front of the contest, shoved the back. Great tackle from Michael. Burton's got it right on the boundary line. Tries to centre it up, only as far as Keating. He thumps it out of there, but straight onto the chest of Hart. So Hart, 52 metres out from goal. Spots a man inside 50 at Stengline and spears the pass to Tyson Stengline, who can go back and shoot for goal from about 40 metres out.
This kid just gets better and better every week. Got a very mature head for a young fella. Gets some big jobs week in, week out. Is now learning his craft and learning to run off the champion player that he's tagging. Now starting to get some footy and, more importantly, pushing forward and kicking the odd goal or two.
Playing his 50th game tonight. Recruited from Subiaco in 1999. Averaging 14 touches for the season. He's already up to 8 this evening. Kick on its way from Stengline. Disappointing finish. Pushes it across the face of goal and through for behind. The opening score of this second term. Adelaide go to 6-3-39. They're a goal in front of Brisbane, 5-3-33.
And the deck just looks like it's starting to get a little dewy, so handling of the ball is going to be difficult. Every goal, very important.
Scott, southern end of Football Park. And if he looks around, he'll see about 54,000. Long kick, well outside 50, uncontested mark by the giant ruckman, Keating, from half-back. Down to a man who's loose, and that's Pike. Johnson came at him late. 39-33. Adelaide in front. Pike from the wing, setting it up, downfield. Another loose man down there. This is Brown, Jonathan Brown. Good skills for a big man. Inside the 50. Delivery not too bad. No mark down there. Pretty busy. Chance for Lynch. Has a shot on goal. Misses. Got through the traffic okay.
Take the free kick. Oh, it's gone to Brisbane.
Over the shoulder to McRae.
Ooh. Well, you get lucky ones every now and then. Simon Goodwin making the tackle, just putting the right hand on top of Craig McRae's shoulder. Fortuitous it may be.
It was there though, wasn't it?
It was there, and Craig McRae loves kicking goals. This one very important as Darryl White comes off. Tim Notting comes off.
So Craig McRae, who has had an excellent pre-season. This is the best year he's had for a couple of seasons. Reverse shot again, reverse angle, left foot, and through it goes, and he's pretty pumped up, and so is Brown, and so is the goal umpire.
When it comes to furniture, ma'am, no one beats Liquidation King for price. Floor coverings, no one comes close to Discount City Carpets, baby.
Discount City Carpets' huge stock take sale is on now, with massive price reductions on timber flooring, ceramic tiles, vinyls, rugs, and thousands of metres of carpet, clearing at genuine savings. Some stock below cost. Discount City Carpets' biggest stock take sale yet.
Now that's a sale.
Discount City Carpets, superstores and super warehouse. Your one-stop flooring shop.
So scores level. We've gone 6.5 minutes in this second term. Here's Francis Leach.
There is a lot of moisture on the ground, so it's going to be very hard for the players to handle the ball at ground level. So when you see those clean skills, just reminds you how good they are.
Back in the middle of the ground. Keating won the tap, but only as far as Bickley. Handball to Goodwin. Little give over the top was intended for Johnson. Stingline taken out of it. Nakamanis got it to McRae to Lappin. Lappin tries to step around Bickley, smothered the handball. Now he's got trouble. Coming in was Johnson. Numbers arriving there for Adelaide. The ball's still alive. Goodwin tried to flick it out, but only as far as Jonathan Brown. To Akamanis. His sixth touch. Got him in quiet since early in the game. Inside the 50. Here comes Leach. That's front and square. Picked up by Power. Tries the impossible. Left foot banana at the top of the square. Copeland there with Smart. The free kick. Against Copeland. Had hold of Smart. Infringed in that marking contest. Smart takes it. Wants to move it quickly. Has two runners on the member's side. One of them's Bode. Here's got an absolute panic. He's had a bounce. Notting comes across to shut him down. Bode thumps it towards the 50. Welsh runs hard for him. And takes it on the chest. 65 metres out on the boundary line. Scott Welsh having a super year. Here's Goodwin. High kick. 20 metres out from goal. Burton flies. Off hands. Headland in the best position. Will he take it to the line? Yes, he will. Throw in. 55 metres out from the Brisbane goal. From the Adelaide goal, rather. Scores are level. We've gone 8 minutes in this second term. The real arm wrestle starting to develop here at Football Park. Keating read it the better. Just bursts away from the congestion. High kick. Brown against McGregor. Edwards will come over the top. He does. Gathers his own ball at ground level. Spears it inside 50. Ashcroft stands underneath it. He gets crunched by Stevens. At ground level now working hard is Headland. Pike in there as well, racking up touches. Hart fell into a tackle. And that's Kane Johnson's story. He said he fell into it and he's taken high and he'll get the free kick.
Yes, he goes to Power at half-back, who sends it away. Down toward, well, that's really half-back there, just backward of the wing. Came from Black to Lappin. Now to Brown. So Brown on this western side of Football Park. Goes low. That's a beautiful kick. Just came up short. Lynch was his target over the line. Umpire to toss in.
One man really presenting himself tonight is Jonathan Brown. Just averaging 10 possessions a game. He's already up to 9 possessions, 4 marks, working really hard.
He certainly is proving a handful for Kenny McGregor in his first game back for Adelaide for a while.
There's a bit of holding off the footy.
Gone to Keating too, and fair dinkum.
Well, Keating, 75 metres from goal, long kick to the goal square. There's a very busy area, lots of players. Chance now for Brisbane, hand pass backwards to Lappin. High kick by Lappin. What's he done with this? He's missed to the left-hand side. So Brisbane attacking here behind. Brisbane is 6'4", that's 40. Adelaide 6'3", 39. Won the difference. 40 plays 39, Brisbane in front.
Hart will come long to the member's side. Clark's his target. Keating comes over the top, fists it down. And as far as Johnson. Kicks towards the wing. Voss tracks it to the line, but it beats him over for a throw in.
Yeah, the manic pace of the first quarter, she's just hit a bit of a flat spot, hasn't it? I mean, the conditions certainly taking its toll. As we've said, the dew on the ground certainly making use of the footy and handling of the footy a lot more difficult.
So throw in. Clark with the front position. Double-handed slap. Lappin wraps up Bickley. The ground level there is Black. Spun on hands and knees. Couldn't get an effective disposal away though. Johnson to Bickley. Now to Rashudo. Spears it low towards half forward. Bounces off the chest of Stevens. Bow tries to gather. Welsh did cleverly. Handball to release McLeod. Akamanis and Hart come to him. McLeod around his body. Bounces it through for a clever finish.
Bird's here.
Mate, you can't feed them that.
What? It's just chicken.
It's not just chicken.
Ooh, KFC's hot and spicy chicken is back, so get it while it's hot. And spicy.
I told you it wasn't just chicken.
My hot and spicy chicken. Back for a limited time.
Did somebody spike the punch?
Extraordinary player, Andrew McLeod. Bounce of the ball in the middle again. Johnson, kick smothered, hand pass smothered. Bickley over the footy as usual, as he has for about 10 years. Lappin around the back of the pack to Headland. Hand pass wide. Now they're away. Hart from half-back, down toward left half forward. They've got numbers here, Adelaide, though. Well done, Tyson Edwards. Needs a runner. He doesn't get a runner. He's got a man who's stationary. It's Bode who flips it over the top. Johnson, long hand pass. Tyson Edwards, 65 metres from goal and closing. Kicks towards Shell. Should mark and does.
Again, some great work by Adelaide, and the Brisbane just appear to have their matchups wrong up forward. Chosen Michael to stand Shell and White to take Stevens. It just doesn't quite look right. And Tyson Edwards, when allowed space to deliver the footy like that, finds his target 9 times out of 10. Michael slipping over, Shell taking the mark. That should have been 50. But from inside the goal square, he shouldn't miss anyway.
Was he committed? He was almost in mid-air, Shaq. Was late.
I think they pay them as 50 these days.
So Daniel Shell, with 1 goal so far in the match, has taken 3 marks and shouldn't miss this, you wouldn't think. But the umpire's gone a long way to his right. Let's wait. He's got it.
It's stock take time at Truscott Hi-Fi. And Dave the Storeman is flat out. That's the bad news for Dave. The good news for you is there are lots of bargains. Pioneer DVDs $50 off. Sharp G-Code VCRs 50 off. Sony DVD home theatre systems $300 off. Sony digital still cameras $200 off. And Conker 68cm TVs $100 off. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
Through it.
Just look better.
Stab at it. Really slammed it home. He's got 2. And Adelaide has skipped away to an 11-point lead. We've gone almost 14 minutes in this second term. Big break in the context of this game. Lappin gets first hands on it. Down to Voss. Voss a hurried kick out towards the wing. Johnson coming in there, beautifully done. Great body pressure there. Came from Copeland. Just created a contest. Smart to Rashudo. Tries to keep it in. Good pressure there from Copeland, because it looked like Adelaide were going to take possession through Johnson and would have been away.
It was fantastic pressure, and Kane Johnson, as you mentioned, he's the sneaky one from the Adelaide midfield. You don't notice him as much, but he just keeps on getting the footy. He's had 13 touches. Really important player in the Crows midfield that sometimes goes unnoticed.
Saw Sean Hart there. He's running with John Cock. Hart's had 5 possessions. Clark off the tap, dragged down in the ruck contest. On hands and knees, tries to win it again. There's Voss battling hard. Stengline's got him wrapped up. Lappin over the top of Clark. We'll have a bounce. Leading stat getters. Kane Johnson has 13 possessions for Adelaide. Goodwin 8, Stengline 8. Hart and Rashudo 7 apiece for Brisbane. Lappin with 15. Pike and Voss with 10 apiece. Jonathan Brown with 9. Keating wins the tap. Out in front of Voss. Johnson there to shut him down. We'll have a throw in.
I guess the key one for Brisbane is Jason Ackermanis. He started the game in a blaze of glory. His first 5 or 10 minutes was great on Michael Dougherty. They moved Simon Goodwin onto him, and since then he's only been able to touch the footy on 2 occasions. So a great move by Gary Ayres.
Yep, 6 touches for Ackermanis, just 2 in this quarter. Charman in front, got it down to Black. Handball over the top, release Lappin. From the centre wing, kick inside to 50. Just floated on its trajectory. Trailed away to the left, and Goodwin marks. Adelaide break to the outer side now. It's Smart. Smart has McLeod and Hart. He's called to play on. A handball over the top to Bassett. Provided a good running option to defensive 50. Bassett. High kick around the wing. Umpire's calling a free kick. It's coming back. It's going all the way back to Bassett. And it's going to have to come back. 2 umpires conferring. Bassett will get it, but he'll get it right on defensive 50. So just disposed of after he kicked it, I think, or must have been in the act of kicking, so it wasn't down the field. So Bassett has it right on defensive 50. 11 points the margin to the home side. He plays on, kicks around the outer wing. Towards the back of the contest, there's Bode, read it beautifully off the hands of the pack. High kick towards the 50, Ashcroft there for Brisbane against Rashudo. Ball at ground level. Great pick up there from Welsh, couldn't quite control it. Scott, fierce tackle there from John Cocker, still alive. Stengline flying snap at goal. Across the face and through for one behind. But Adelaide just worked that from centre wing to a shot for goal with sheer body pressure, just kept pushing it forward and forward.
Their physical pressure all year has been tremendous. Again, Tyson Stengline has a shot on goal. And I guess when you're tackled like the Brisbane player was on that occasion, you try not to release the ball, especially inside 50, because it can create scoring opportunities. Loose ball, Stengline pounces.
The margin now 12 points. We've gone almost 17 minutes in this second term.
Scott goes to the far side, that's to the eastern side of Football Park. A chance now for Brisbane to work it away. Lappin, he's got Voss running for him. Neat hand pass. Voss neat as usual down to Ackermanis. Ackermanis chipping it around, looking for Brown. Bouncing footy, awkward one, well done, Smart, magnificent footy. He read it superbly and then gave it to Andrew McLeod. Hand pass to Smart, who kept running. And Smart goes inside 50 with a thumping kick. And Bode's taken a big mark. It's Welsh. Welsh has taken a sensational grab on his chest.
And a great mark by Scotty Welsh. But again, on this occasion, it was Desi Headland. Falls to ground. The dew taking its toll on the Brisbane players. The footwear not good enough, or the ability to hold the feet. And Scotty Welsh takes the courageous mark. And in the form he's been in this year, you'd put everything you could on him.
So Welsh, they're pretty well behind the goals here, so we'll ride it with him. There's his kick, it is through the middle. Another to Welsh, another one to Adelaide.
And they...
Here we see a wild pigman in its natural environment. These strange creatures become attached to whoever pulls them from the ground, loyal and obedient. Pigmen work together to fight large predators like this grub dog, even if it means getting eaten. As night falls, the pigmen return to their nests to rest for another day of hard work. Hang in there, little guys. Pigmen. Only for Nintendo GameCube.
The margin out to 3 goals now. We've gone 18.5 minutes in this second term. Welsh has kicked 2 goals, 26-7 for the season. Bickley tried to get it to Johnson. Black on his hands and knees, farmed it out beautifully to Power. Just run down from behind, dragged the kick a little bit across the face of goal. Lynch comes cannoning out after it. Tries to get rid of Stengline, falls into his back. Umpire spotted it. Free kick to Alistair Lynch.
For Tyson Stengline obviously saying I was going for the footy, and indeed he was. And it was a bit soft, but it was probably there.
Lynch unloads from 52 metres out to the top of the square. Timely fist there from the Adelaide defence from Ken McGregor, and we will have a rush behind to Brisbane.
An important 5 minutes now for Brisbane. Adelaide have seized control. They have momentum when they're up and running and the crowd are involved here at Footy Park. Catch him if you can. The next 5 minutes, critical for Brisbane. They need the next goal.
Hart straight up the middle, a couple of options. One of them is Johnson. He takes the mark. 14th touch for Kane Johnson. Squares it up to Bickley. On the overlap to Goodwin. Adelaide starting to run off half back. Goodwin towards half forward. Will a contest right on 50 off the hands of Rashudo. Pike dribbles towards the line. And a throw in. Adelaide just making the running in the last 5 or 6 minutes. As we see Matthew Clark stretching. He's done a power of work in this first half. And his side leads by 17 points as we hit time on in the second term. Chance for the Crows, just outside their 50. Biglands against Charman. The 2 youngsters go at it. Goodwin, first hands on it to Biglands. Into the path of Rashudo. Goodwin just tries to crash straight over the top of Power. Here's Johncock, wrapped up by Scott. Black's in there trying to work hard. It comes out to Pike. Massive players around this ball. Pike kicks around the outer wing. Oh, through comes Brown. Collects Hart. Play on's the call. Hart bounces straight up to his feet with great courage. Tries to keep it in. I'm not sure if Ben Hart knows where he is at the moment. Here's Ackermanis. Look away handball. It was a giveaway handball because it was picked up by Johnson. A free kick coming back to Ackermanis. Taken high as he disposed of the football. Here's that clash between Brown and Hart.
Hey, don't you worry about Benny Hart. He may not be known for his toughness, but he is one of the toughest going around.
Bounced straight to his feet on that occasion. Lappin to Hart. This is Sean Hart for Brisbane. Spears towards the 50. Lynch on the long lead. Bassett punched it away from him. Bigland's trying to gather just inside the line. Does so now. Handball set up his teammate Goodwin. Crash tackled by Hart. And we'll have a throw in about 70 metres out from the Brisbane goal. We see that clash between Brown and Hart again. They hurt. A full-on frontal attack as Goodwin gets up, looking a little bit distressed. We have a throw in.
58-41, Adelaide in front, 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining until half-time. It's in the attacking zone Over the top to McGregor. McGregor now just chipping it across the face of the defensive goal. It's not too bad. Stenglein juggles. The umpire says he didn't have it long enough. Notting was there. Tyson Edwards works it away neatly. Little or no panic to John Cock through his hands. McLeod on the assist, floating the hand pass back to John Cock. He's in trouble again. That looked a little high. The umpire didn't agree. He said, play it on. Hart. And they rush in. That was over the top. And he's going to receive the free kick. Sean Hart to take the free kick. The crowd don't like it, but if they look up on the giant electronic scoreboard or have a look at this replay, I'm sure they'll have a different view because it was pretty obvious. Sean Hart inside the 50. Black, white, smart, any colour you like. Edwards close to the line. John Cock in there at 100 mile an hour. Now it's over and out. Umpire to toss it in. It's 9-4. Plays 9-4, plays 6-5, 58-41.
Just the pressure that Adelaide are putting on Brisbane, taking its toll on Brisbane at the moment, fumbling and not clean with their skills at all.
Sharman tried to take it from the ruck. It came to Darryl White. Lappin puts his body over the ball. Bickley on top of him. Black tried to move it on, only as far as Goodwin. Edwards taken in a fierce tackle. And yet another bounce. It's been tough in the clinches all evening. At the moment, Adelaide 17-point lead, pretty handy.
Yeah, and I think these conditions probably favour Adelaide a little. They would have played and trained in these conditions many times over the years. Just seem to be handling the ball and the conditions a little better.
Bickley off, Laddam's on for Adelaide. Here's Lappin to Notting. Little kick around his body. Rashudo well shepherded for by Hart. Tries to keep it in around the boundary line, does so. John Cock takes it to the line. They'll have a throw in front of the members here at Football Park. They like what they see. Their home side's up by 17 points with 4 minutes remaining. And judging from the boos, they're not liking exactly what they're seeing at the moment, but you get my general drift. Clark tapped it down to Rashudo, to Doughty, looking for John Cock, right in front. Fell onto his chest, took a very clever mark in front of Scott. There was nothing more he could do. John Cock goes looking for a target inside 50. Up goes the big hands of Mark Stevens. And he takes a pretty clever mark at the end.
Look, in these conditions, it's a very, very clever mark and very important. And again, Brisbane just not quite with their matchups right. Martin Pike now got the job on Mark Stevens. And again, it probably doesn't look right with Mal Michael sitting in the goal square. He's had a very good night. Really provided a good, strong target, taking the contested mark out forward and kicked very well so far for goal.
Stevens starts it way right, trying to bend it back, but not enough, and through for one behind. 1-1 his return so far this evening.
But that's a great sign for Adelaide. Mark Stevens had a tremendous year last year, predominantly at centre-half back. Used in the key forward role this year. Hasn't had the best of seasons, even though he's kicked some goals. But just turned the corner the last couple of weeks and been very good in trying conditions tonight.
There is a blood brawl. It's Simon Goodwin. He trots towards the bench. So play will be stopped momentarily with 3 1/4 minutes on the clock.
He got collected about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, we saw him on the outer side. He was a bit stressed, wasn't he? So he's coming off. And he will be replaced by Chris Massey, who checks into the game for the first time this evening. The ball's with Brad Scott. Adelaide have set a fairly deep zone here, had plenty of time to get back and cover the space. Scott swings it wide towards the half-back flank. The mark taken by Shattuck. Perfect kick too from Scott. It was a beautiful kick. Shattuck thumps it long towards the wing. Jonathan Brown. Looks like a set play from Brisbane. They've all run to specific positions on the field. Brown is the next cog in the chain, link in the chain. Towards half forward, Massey comes across and cuts that off with a mark. He's only been on the field about 30 seconds. Goes short and finds McGregor. Back to the centre wing. The kick was looking for Stevens. It was a nothing option. In the end, Simon Blake quite comfortably slapped it to the line for a throw in. As Ken McGregor looks on and thinks about what might have been.
Well, I think he's probably thinking what's happening in the coach's box at that time. He knows he made the wrong decision, but the Crows got away with it.
Don't turn around or look up, Ken. Clark wins the tap. Rashudo had it and lost it. Black, fierce tackle. Unfairly so, in fact, said the umpire. Against Rashudo. The free kick will go to Simon Black, his 11th possession for the evening.
Yeah, again, another of the Brisbane midfielders that have been subdued in the second quarter. Black, Ackermanis and Voss to a lesser degree, just gone missing the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, Lappin's had 9 for the quarter. The next best for Brisbane is 4. Host of players on 4. That's a terrible kick from Simon Blake. He's put it out of bounds on the full. So Dowdy will take it for Adelaide at right half back. They lead by 3 goals. Under 2.5 minutes remaining in this second term. High kick towards the wing. Bigland sets himself. It comes to the back of the contest. Here's McLeod. Danger for Brisbane. Hart wraps him up, forces the turnover. Pike's handball missed the target. The target was Brad Scott. And John Cock dribbles it towards the line, a throw in.
Simon Goodwin getting ready to come back on, just suffering a little bit from a head knock. I'm sure he'll be back in action pretty soon.
Adelaide by 18, 3 straight kicks, thrown at right half forward. Past Prosciutto, Stevens. Now Bode, high kick, storming to about 35 was Burton. Welsh, Pikes there, Gabbard. Strong tackling by Chris Laddams, who's on the field. There's Simon Goodwin, waiting and hoping to come back on. Won't be long, you wouldn't think.
A great sign by Adelaide, the gang tackling inside 50. I mean, Gary has really stressed that all year, that their forwards must tackle hard, put pressure on the opposition defence. Again, doing so tonight.
Minute 40 to go. Ackermanis. Here's a chance now for Dowdy. He's got to get through 2 tackles, gets the kick away. Shell in the general vicinity, and also Burton keeps it in cleverly. John Cock there, Stevens as well. Commitment over the football. And the umpire to bounce right forward pocket with a minute 20 remaining, and the Adelaide Crows support is not happy. But really, they've only got to look up at the scoreboard, and they should be pleased with what they see. Stevens taking a while to get up.
What they will be happy with is the ball's been kept inside 50. We know how well Adelaide do from the clearances. They still have an opportunity from this ball up to get a goal.
Busy area. Prosciutto looking to get the hand pass away. Couldn't. Voss through the congestion. Hart inside the 50. Dowdy. High kick, they need a mark here. Burton, no mark, came off his hands. Headland trying to get through the traffic and does. Gee, that was good footy by Headland, and he went out very wide. He's cleared the zone. That's not too bad. It's rolling, and it's a good result for him.
It certainly was a great result. Took him on and took a risk. Tried to break a couple of tackles. That's a sign of a class player. And getting the ball pretty well outside 50 and out of the danger area for the time being.
43 seconds remaining on the clock to half-time. The throw in. Bigland's in front, got it down. Chance here for Adelaide to make one last scoring attempt. It's a high kick. They'll contest outside 50. Dowdy got hands to it. Didn't go to 15 anyway. Bode to Prosciutto. Tries to sell the dummy to Power. Sten blind. Little handball to Bode. Keeps it alive. It's inside the 50. They need a mark, Adelaide. Burton's there, got hand to it. Never really a chance to mark at ground level. Keeps it alive. Only as far as Scott. And he'll clear the zone looking for and finding McRae. Is there time for Brisbane? They've got runners breaking in all directions. Lackman will take it in the middle of Football Park. They need to move it quickly. Here's Pike. Has to get it inside the 50. He doesn't know how long's left. Gives it to Lappin now. He runs right to 50. And as he's about to unload, the siren sounds for half-time. The score will not count. So an entertaining contest here at Football Park. It is half-time. And Adelaide, courtesy to 3 goals to 1, lead at the main break by 18 points.
Tuesday, the world's most magical wedding. Won't start out that way.
My wedding dress could double as a circus tent.
Phoebe's finally getting married, but not to the man she thinks. All new Charmed, 8:30 Tuesday.
Booze Brothers. Pinky others cold.
Pick up a slab of VB cans or stubbies, just $27.99, or Crown Lager, $11.99 a six-pack, or $44 a carton. Restock the wine rack with Wynn's Shiraz and Cabernet Shiraz Merlot, $13.99, or Wynn's Riesling, $11.99. Buy 6 and get a bonus Wynn's blanket. Kaiser's full casks with 25% more, $9.99, or just $38 for 4.
Pinky others cold.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. Every time you inhale, tobacco smoke condenses in your lungs to form tar. This is a healthy lung. And this is the amount of tar a pack-a-day smoker breathes in every year. Every cigarette is doing you damage.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
We've got all sorts of contracts. Air conditioning, industrial ovens, hospitals, I found all sorts of information about apprenticeships and the types of training you can get at my local new apprenticeship centre.
Well, there's this one guy I talked to down at the new apprenticeship centre, and he spelled out the financial benefits that I'd be entitled to. It was a pleasant surprise.
Well, Doug expects a very high standard of work. That's good for me because it'll make me a better tradesman.
I caught him signing his name on a job that he did last week. I like that.
You'd be amazed where new apprenticeships can take you these days. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Feel the on-ground pressure of the game and make the hard calls the coach won't. Only Optus Cyber Coach puts you in the coach's box and takes AFL viewing outside the square. You call the shots from your armchair every Saturday night on 10 with thanks to Optus.
Hello? Look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I can send you a quick book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131 848.
Yep.
131 848.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Mayday, Mayday, Mayday! The Doors Plus May sale is now on. Our warehouse is bursting with stock. Thousands of doors must be moved in the next 2 weeks. You will save on a large range of entry doors, bifolds that save you space, French doors to open up your home, add style and value with feature interior doors, and entry combinations, the finishing touch to your home. Plus, we can fit, stain and deliver. Save at the Doors Plus May sale now on Australia-wide. Doors Plus, no fuss.
The Panel, 9:30 Wednesday.
Half-time here at Football Park in Adelaide, and it is the Crows 9-5-59, leading Brisbane 6-5-41. The margin is 18 points, 3 goals to 1 in that second term. 2 to Welsh, 2 to McLeod, 2 to Shell. For Brisbane, Simon Black, their only multiple goal kicker. And what's turning out to be a pretty entertaining game. Started as a shootout in the first quarter, Chris McDermott, and that second term, both sides just tightened it up a bit.
Look, I think the conditions really started to take its toll. A lot of dew on top of the ground. Michael Voss was a very important player in that first quarter, just with a great vision. Powell getting onto the end of the loose ball as he did on this occasion. Really dangerous early, but you're right, Adelaide shut them down in the second quarter, and the midfield went missing, and the Crows got on top.
They started to run really hard off half-back too. We saw one telling run from Nigel Smart where he had a bit of a give and go, came back, resulted in a goal to Adelaide. But it just showed they were starting to get some confidence to back themselves and run off their men off half-back.
Yeah, Bode, a very important player too, getting hold of the footy. Their midfield got on top. They were struggling early, but they got on top of the game wore on. The conditions appeared to favour Adelaide. Michael Voss running on to the end of that one. He doesn't miss inside 50.
It's a treat to see a game where you've got so many players who can just turn half chances into goals. And Scotty Welsh, we've mentioned already this evening, he's having a fantastic year. I mean, that is a half chance that he's created a goal out of.
He's done it all year, and again, on this occasion, giving one off to McLeod, who just had the presence of mind to hit the goal square. Brett Burton doing some great work in the goal square to shepherd the ball through. And Daniel Shell, I mean, as we've said in the call, he's been given a role now at full forward. He's marking the ball well, not kicking overly well, but kicked 2 important goals today. Gave him an option up forward, as did Mark Stevens.
And again, we saw that coming in from Tyson Edwards. That was some good, more good half running off half back there. Tyson Edwards was important in that second term. Didn't necessarily get a lot of the football himself, but did some very, very important things.
You're right, the half back line does really create some opportunities for the Crows. Nigel Smart again on that occasion, pushing forward. Scotty Welsh, just no fear at all, just holding his ground, back with the flight. And more importantly, kicking the goal. They've kicked the goal when it's needed to be kicked tonight. They've certainly celebrated. They've got their nose in front, and they're very difficult to beat here at Footy Park in that position.
Let's have a look at the stats here. Very little in the possessions in total. Little in the contested possessions. Adelaide slightly in front. I can tell you in clearances they lead those 26-18. So we mentioned that before the game. Clearances might be an advantage for Adelaide. They also lead inside 50s 26-18.
Yes, look, a big figure that one. I mean, obviously the more time you get the ball inside 50, the more chances you are to win the game of footy. And the Crows certainly with more inside 50s so far, and the results on the scoreboard.
Well, Jason Ackermann started the game like a house on fire. Looked like he had his own football out there in his 150th game. Just faded a little bit in that second term, only 8 possessions to half-time.
Look, I thought it was a fantastic move by Gary Ayres. Michael Dowdy was given the job on him in the first quarter. That didn't work. The switch came with Goodwin onto him straight away. proved a great move, and Jason Ackermanis hasn't been a factor since that move.
And Andrew McLeod went the other way. He started slowly in the first term, but again, took a couple of half chances and created goals. He's got two, only still the 7 possessions to half time, but he just looks so threatening every time he gets it.
He is the best wet weather player in the competition. Now, it's not wet, but it is dewy. Same rules apply. He doesn't have to touch the football very often, but he hurts you. That's the most important thing. You'll see him play forward of centre most of tonight, because every touch he gets is critical.
So the Adelaide Crows, Gary Ayres would be pretty happy to lead at half-time. You mentioned before the game, a good start was going to be vital against the best side in the competition. Brisbane, not necessarily playing at their best at the moment, the Lions. They've still got plenty in the tank. But having said that, Gary would still be pretty happy with the first half.
He'd be very happy, and you're right, Brisbane haven't played at their best and probably haven't for a few weeks now, but you've got 55,000 screaming Adelaide fans here. Make the most of them, get in front, get the crowd involved in the game. Adelaide have been able to do that. And, you know, their confidence lifts. You see players like Shell kicking goals, Burton leading, taking marks. Very important result for Adelaide at half-time.
Well, it is half-time here at Football Park. The Crows lead it by 3 goals, 18 points, 9-5-59 to 6-5-41. After the break, we'll catch up with injured Adelaide forward Brian Benke.
The official AFL Carlton Draft Mark of the Year competition. Get ready to choose the best mark from round 9. Is it Mark A, a screamer from Anthony Rocker? Or Mark B, a great pack mark from Daniel Shell? Or is it Mark C, this big ride from Jeff White? For A, call 1902 555 025. For B, call 1902 555 026. For C, call 1902 555 027. Round 8's winner was Joel Bowden. If Joel's mark is chosen as the Carlton Draft Mark of the Year, he'll win a week's holiday for 2 at the Hyatt Regency Coolum. This week's callers have the chance to win a $250 AFL store gift voucher. All callers also get the chance to win a seat at the 2002 AFL Grand Final. And they also go into the major draw for a chance to win a trip for 2 to Ireland to see the 2002 International Rules Series. The official AFL Carlton Draft Mark of the Year.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. Smoking creates blood clots, which can cause strokes. Some strokes kill, blind, or paralyze. Others you don't even know you're having. This is the result of a minor stroke in a smoker, aged 38. Every cigarette is doing you damage.
Get a kick out of life and score $10,000 worth of Simpson appliances by entering the Simpson Aussie Display of the Month competition. You could also win a team outfit signed by your favourite AFL player simply by showing us what a great player you are. Just send us a video of you in action on the field to win these great prizes and more. Check out afl.com.au for entry details. Thanks to Simpson, proud sponsor of the AFL Auskick Junior Development Program.
Factory quits. Huge wool carpet overstocked for cash.
If you only ever buy carpet once, then this is it.
Not $65, only $29.95. That's under half price.
This is the best carpet you'll ever buy.
100% wool carpet under half price. Look on you.
Share the excitement with the Optus Sports Tonight Player of the Round competition. You could win a weekly prize of the new Active Lifestyle Nokia 5210 or major prize of a trip to the grand final for you and 3 friends. Watch Sports Tonight Mondays for your chance to win.
Make a claim with SGIC and we'll guarantee repairs carried out by an SGIC quality repairer for the lifetime of the vehicle.
Hello? Yeah, look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I can send you a quick book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131 848. 131 848.
The AFL Premiership Season 2002, brought to you by its premier partner, Carlton and United Breweries, and our telecast sponsors, Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL, Strathfield, Ford dealers, ordinary people doing extraordinary deals, Nintendo GameCube, get into it, Doors Plus, no fuss, Truscott Hi-Fi, best advice, low price, Discount City Carpet Superstores, Booze Brothers, and just say the word, yes, Optus.
Half-time here at Football Park. The Adelaide Crows 9-5-59, leading Brisbane 6-5-41. Let's head down to the boundary line now. Mark Aston with injured Adelaide star Brian Benke.
Yes, thank you very much. We seem to be talking to injured players at half-time all the time. It's pretty frustrating. First of all, a cheekbone and then a hamstring.
Yeah, having a bit of a bad run at the moment, but the football gods throw these things down to test you out, and you know, I'll jump back from that and come back and hit the track running.
From a positive point of view, though, Brian, against Melbourne, 7 goals in the Wizard Cup.
Yeah, it seems a long time ago now. Hopefully I can, you know, I had a good pre-season, so hopefully that'll still, you know, get me through, and I can maintain a bit of that when I come back and get my form on the board again straight away and get back in the team.
And Brian, in regard to tonight's game, good to see Daniel Shell, Mark Stevens, Brett Burton, your key forwards, having a real influence in the game.
Yeah, Shelley's taken a couple of really strong marks, and yeah, it's a crackerjack game down here. The boys are hitting it real hard, so it's looking good for a good second half.
And how important is it for the team to actually win against the top 8 team and get some real credibility in the competition?
Yeah, I think, I mean, a lot of people are making a bit more of the issue out of it than what the players are, but to beat Brisbane, who are, you know, a pretty decent side, will give the boys a lot of confidence, I think. And
Brian, how long before you're back?
Looking at the week after the break, so a couple of weeks now to get it right.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks, Mark.
So Mark Aston there with injured forward Brian Benke. The stocks have improved in that area, haven't they, Adelaide? It hasn't been something they've been big on in recent years, but having said that now, they've got some really good young forwards. Welsh has stepped up. Fitzgerald, unfortunately, out for the rest of the year. Burton, Shell, Benke, they've got some four power up forward.
You have to have somebody up forward that can take a contested mark when you need one. And when you hit a Hail Mary and you want somebody to take a mark in a goal square, it's critical. And Mark Stevens, Brett Burton, Daniel Shell are providing that person for the Crows this year.
They're a good blend of player. Now Brisbane, Lee Matthews, he'd be a little disappointed. They started, well, slowly in the first term, then they really started to get going. Looked like they were going to start to take control. Adelaide have fought back. What would he be saying to the boys at half-time?
It's very hard to be critical of Brisbane. I mean, they're 7-2 and on top of the ladder, but I don't think the machine's quite going quite nicely at the moment. They look a little stop-starty. Their midfielders are dropping in and out of the game. Not quite as cohesive as you would expect Brisbane to be. You know, it's a little bit of a worry. He just needs the key players, Black, Voss, Ackermanis, to get back in the contest and maybe have something more out of his key midfielders. Bradshaw and Lynch, forwards. Bradshaw and Lynch have hardly touched the footy, and they need to get themselves into this contest.
Well, it all adds up to an interesting contest in the second half. The action not far away. We'll take a break and be back to the second half of round 10, Adelaide versus Brisbane at Footy Park.
Home has crossed over to the dark side.
Say I make you my executive in charge of recreation.
But is it all it's cracked up to be?
You're so much more fun than Smith is. He doesn't know the meaning of the word gay.
The Simpsons at 7:30. Then at 8, when you're as evil as Finch.
The memo telling everyone to get dressed up. I'm the only one who got it, aren't I?
Life is no fairy tale.
Attention people, listen up. Did anyone lose a tooth?
Next week is Topless Tuesday.
Just shoot me following The Simpsons Wednesday.
If you want advice and the best price on large screen TVs, see Truscott Hi-Fi. Like European Thomson stereo TVs with 100Hz flicker-free picture technology. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. Smoking creates blood clots, which can cause strokes. Some strokes kill, blind, or paralyze. Others you don't even know you're having. This is the result of a minor stroke in a smoker, aged 38. Every cigarette is doing you damage.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
I'm a chartered accountant in an accounting and administration role. I actually joined the Army Reserves, and that was my way of doing something physical. It was just something that seemed to offer some potential change in lifestyle. There are many highlights. The one that comes to mind the most is when I went to Hawaii, flying over the Hawaiian coastline in Black Hawk helicopters. I'll live with those memories forever.
take a look. It's got a CD player, electric windows and mirrors, power steering, 2 airbags, immobiliser.
Hello? Look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I can send you a quick book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131-848.
Yep.
131-848.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Being able to get out into the bush, make good friends, and at the same time defend Australia. I think that it is an important role, and I take great pride in that.
Half-time here at Football Park. Both sides back out on the arena. It's the Crows leading by 18 points. 9-5-59 to 6-5-41. They added 3 goals 3 to 1 goal 2 in that second term to turn a 5-point quarter-time lead into an 18-point half-time lead. Kane Johnson 15 possessions for Adelaide. Prosciutto's had 12, Bode 11, Goodwin and Stenglein 10 apiece. Andrew McLeod 7 in that first half. For Brisbane, Lappin 20, Pike 14, Voss 12, 11 to Black, 10 to Jonathan Brown with 5 marks. There's another game of round 10 action on this evening. It is in Melbourne at Colonial Stadium between Collingwood and Sydney. We're midway through the third quarter. If you don't want to know the score, look away now. Let's head boundary side now. Here's Francis Leach.
The contrast between the two teams as they came off at half-time was quite marked. The Crows sprinted to their rooms, obviously very happy with their first half work, and the Brisbane Lions, well, they were a bit dejected coming off at half-time. The umpires weren't too happy with the hospitality at Football Park either. Umpire Michael Avon was pointing somebody out in the crowd. It seemed something was thrown at him as he came off the ground, so not too many people happy with the umpires' work in that first half here.
Here's Francis. Free kicks 8-5 in favour of Brisbane in the first half. And we mentioned just before the break, Chris, in the second term, Brisbane's midfield just not quite as prominent. Voss had 5 in the second term. Lappin had 10. He was sensational. Ackermanis 4, Black 4, Hart 4, Power 3. So a lot of their prime movers just weren't getting their hands on the ball.
No, they did have some players go missing, and a couple other ones like Darryl White yet to touch the footy, Daniel Bradshaw yet to touch the footy as well. So there's some key players there that need to assert some influence on this game of football. Otherwise, you know, the Crows kick the next 1 or 2, and this lead, given the conditions, pretty well gets out of reach. So the first 5 or 10 expect Brisbane to come out firing, and they need to start well. The third quarters for the Crows have been a real worry for them this year. We saw them do some interesting work as Michael Voss works on his footwear, and so he should. He's gone to ground a couple of times tonight, as have many Brisbane players, a couple of times resulting in goals to Adelaide. Adelaide's third quarters, as we were saying, have been ordinary, and it's important for them that they get away to a good and have a good third quarter.
There's a lush surface, but I think screw-ins will be the order of the night.
Well, you should wear screw-ins here all the time. I mean, the surface is lush at the best of times, even during summer, and you can get away with screw-ins on any occasions at Football Park, and Brisbane just paying the price for poor footwear tonight.
Brisbane have been very good finishers in 2002. They've won 8 of their last 9 final quarters this season. Adelaide not so good. They're 4 and 5 in both the third and the fourth quarters, so Gary Ayres would certainly be stealing his men for a concerted second half effort.
White and Bradshaw off for Brisbane.
Well, I think that's significant. As we said, neither have laid a glove on the footy so far, and you can't go a half a footy and not touch the ball. So paying the price for some poor form. We expect to see them back at some stage later in the contest.
So all in readiness for this third term. It's Adelaide by 18 points at the major break. Keating will go in the ruck again against Clark. It's been a great battle between them all night. Clark got the tap down. Beautifully done to Johnson. First disposal of the third term around his body. Mark taken by Prosciutto, 55 out. Gee, an early goal to Adelaide would be important for them.
And that's significant too, boys. Mark Prosciutto starting up forward. I mean, he had an ankle injury early in the season. That affected his kicking. He is 100% fit now. And traditionally, he'd have a crack from just outside 50. It's within range. Part of the Crows' structure this year is to hit the ball to the head of the square and not have a ping from outside 50. But the way Mark Prosciutto's lining up, given the conditions tonight, he is going to have a crack at this.
So you can see from behind Mark Prosciutto there, he kicked 6 straight last week. Coming up for his 13th possession this evening. The skipper, from about 55 metres out, launches it towards goal. It's straight, has it got the legs right to the line, almost a mark to Adelaide. The ball's still alive. Chris Johnson grabs it and boots it through for a rush behind. Almost there for Mark Rashudo, not quite. In the end, the Brisbane defence happy to just shut it down. The margin now out to 19 points as Johnson goes short to the outer side. And Brisbane, through Shattuck, will attack around the outer wing. Dumps it long, bosses his target. Still, oh, great mark over the top. Beautiful grab there from Notting. Voss and Stenglein just wrestling. Notting came over the top now, sells the dummy. Kicks towards half forward, Keating up in front. Strong mark in front of Hart. Brisbane breaking, wanting to move it quickly. Keating wheels onto his right boot, will thump it long inside the 50. Lynch goes to ground, his man McGregor held his feet. It was Brown that went to ground, McGregor took the mark, and Smart will attack around the members' wing.
Yes, and that's exactly what he does. He's out at half-back now, and this is Rashudo chipping it over the top to John Cock. Marks on his chest, safely, just backward of the wing, decides to go into the middle to Bassett, who, as Chris said at the start of tonight, has had an outstanding year. He's beaten some of the best. Johnson, who's having a very, very good season as well, to Hart, who's a fantastic defender for Adelaide. He's forward of the wing, he's on the eastern side, in front of a sellout crowd. Short pass is okay, and the mark is taken by Andrew McLeod. 75 metres from goal, goes into the right forward pocket. Shattuck tried to knock it to the boundary. Oh, and the umpire's come over and said it is on purpose. So Adelaide with the free, and it's Stevens. And this is an important kick. He's tucked away. He's up from the forward pocket.
Important to note there, it was actually against Pike. It wasn't for the flick out by Shattuck. Pike then took it to the line. As you can see there, Pike is steaming.
Expect him to lob this at the head of the square, boys. We know how disciplined Adelaide have been this year. Mark Stevens not looking overly confident. He may just hit the head of the square.
Already has one. There's his kick. He's missed. So a big build up there. Adelaide 9-7, 61. Brisbane 6-5, 41. And we've played 3.5 minutes, third quarter.
So Johnson will take the kick in for Brisbane. Just looking to get something going. They need a spark, don't they, Chris?
They do. They've looked a little indecisive, especially working the ball out of the back area. They just need some run.
Plenty of talent and class. Speaking of which, Michael Voss towards the outer side looking for Notting. Set him a task to keep it in and beat his opponent. Dives on top of it now, slaps it out. There's Lappin. Worked hard all night, Nigel Lappin. Voss for territory. Finds the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like Brisbane have been in like it for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Just haven't quite got their machine running as smoothly as they would like. It's only early days in the season and plenty of time, and they're still sitting at the top of the tree, so it's hard to be critical. But the machine is hardly going at 100%.
Can they respond to this challenge? Copeland, yet to have an effective disposal in the game, wrapped up by a couple of tacklers, and that's been indicative of Adelaide's pressure around the contest.
Really has great side for Adelaide, starting this third quarter very well, getting hold of the footy early, and their tackling and gang tackling has been a feature all year and again tonight.
It's a bit of a stalemate here. We've gone 4.5 minutes in this third term. The crowd pretty quiet, just waiting for something to happen one way or the other. Yet another bounce on the outer wing. Bickley in there working hard as always.
Look, he'll love these conditions and certainly thrive in them, but how often do you see a game is a stalemate and an arm wrestle for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then all of a sudden it blows open and consecutive goals are kicked. So an important time in this game.
It's in no man's land at the moment. You get the feeling this next break could be an important one. Clark off the wrong side of his boot, straight up in the air. Host of fists on it. Here's Lappin. Can Brisbane break away from the congestion now? It's Scott from centre wing. Will thump it towards the 50. Powers in front for Brisbane. Got hands to it. One grab, two to ground. Edwards gathers at ground level. Got it for Smart. High kick into the middle of Football Park. Lappin stands underneath it. Bickley attacked it for Adelaide. Brought it to ground. Wants to go again. Swings around to Rashudo. To Ben Hart. They break through the middle of the ground. Up the middle looking for Shell. Bounce just in front of him. Ball still alive. Headland has it. He's tackled. Will have a bounce. Exciting little burst off half-back there from Adelaide. And that's the sort of spark Brisbane is trying to generate at the moment.
And Mark Bickley was the player. He got the contested football, and his reflex give was outstanding. That was a feature of Brisbane in the first quarter. Adelaide certainly now improving at ground level and becoming the dominant force in that area.
Mark Bickley. There's Clark. Tried to tap it down to Rashudo. He gathers. He tries to bend it back, but it just fades away to the left and through for one behind the skipper. His first score for the evening. The Crows creep up to 9-8-62. 21-point leaders over Brisbane, 6-5-41. We've gone 6 minutes in the third term.
Chris Johnson from the northern end of Football Park. He's going to come to the western side. Western flank. Keating was there, and Clark. Hart, now Smart. Smart for Adelaide, releases.
Oh, great take.
Strong tackling by Brisbane. They hold it up, and the umpire to bounce on this western wing. 9-8-65, 62-41. Lee Matthews barking some instructions down the phone. His side at the moment down by 21. Still on the wing. Still a little untidy. That's Ben Hart, who was instrumental in getting that footy inside the 50, or at least to Rashudo earlier. There's the bounce. Keating. Big punch. Worth 25 metres. Copeland. Smart. Well done, Smart. Work. Clever footy by Smart. Persistent footy. In again. Lappin. Now Ben Hart. Tracking across half-back, swings it around toward the wing. Scott's going to be in the general area. It bounces obligingly for him. His tackle brought to the ground. Umpire says play it on. Here's Voss, pushed off the footy to about 65. An opportunity for Black. Over to Notting, who's in trouble. He saw the whole oval then. Over to Copeland. Notting trying to work it forward. Trying to give one of his players an opportunity. Tyson Edwards, though, burst away, and Bickley gives it back to him. Tyson Edwards explodes through the middle. Awkward kick inside 50. Tied up tight. Good work on Stevens. Excellent footy. Bit of a burst forward there, Chris, but Stevens held up.
It's some magic from Tyson Edwards. Again, Adelaide's ability just to handle this greasy football, just proving a decided advantage at this stage of the game.
A couple of goal-saving tackles, one from Ben Hart at one end, one from Martin Pike at the other. A ball-and-all tackle there on Stevens was a gem. Bickley from 55 metres out. He's getting busy in this third term to John Cock from right on the 50. He'll attack the goal front. It's bending back. It's bending back. It's a goal.
Cascade Premium Light. Pure premium taste.
Feel the on-ground pressure of the game and make the hard calls the coach won't. Only Optus Cyber Coach puts you in the coach's box and takes AFL viewing outside the square. You call the shots from your armchair every Saturday night on 10 with thanks to Optus.
So Graham Johncock with a beauty, and that lead now for Adelaide is out to 27 points. 27 points. 10-8 to 6-5. Black in trouble. Hand pass over his head. Voss. McLeod. Clever. Now Goodwin off half-back. Out to Johncock again. Clever again. Johncock about to storm forward. He's 85 metres from goal. Looking for Shell and finds him. Good footy, Adelaide, all round.
Fantastic footy, and once again a Brisbane player goes to ground. Chris Johnson on that occasion, unable to hold his feet in pursuit of Graham Johncock, and proving costly to Brisbane.
Great effort from Shell to get to the front of this contest, wasn't he? He's behind Mel Michael and just used body strength. If we look at it again on the replay there, the kick from Johncock, he's behind him there and just forced his way to the front.
Mel Michael is a brute, no easy task getting in front of him.
Already has two. There's his kick. He's got three now, Shell. Adelaide have 11.
Pick up a slab of VB cans or stubbies, just $27.99, or Crown Lager, $11.99 a six-pack, or $44 a carton. Restock the wine rack with Wynn's Shiraz and Cabernet Shiraz Merlot, $13.99, or Wynn's Riesling, $11.99. Buy six and get a bonus Wynn's blanket. Kaiser School casks with 25% more, $9.99, or just $38 for four.
So it's the Crows by 33 points. They've made their move here at Football Park. What can the reigning premiers come up with? Lappin working his heart out. Needs a few teammates to go with him. There he is again, Nigel Lappin, right on cue. Thanks very much. Stengline to Rashudo.
Over the top to Johncock. To McLeod. From 52 metres out. Will attack the top of the square, looking for Shell. Michael with a timely fist. Pike under pressure from Stevens. Ball at ground level to be won. Burton twists and turns from deep in the pocket. Squares it up. Johncock stands underneath it. Keating will fly over the top. Couldn't take it. It's still alive at ground level. Michael. Deft tap to Ashcroft. The danger passes. Pike out in front of Lappin for touch number 24. Dropped it. Goes back and wins it again. Little handball over to Headland. And he'll run it out of defence for Brisbane. Looks up, not much on offer. Goes around the wing. Edwards in best position. Couldn't quite take it. Recovered first at the back. The tackle came from Johnson. Hart suckers off the ground. Towards the 50 for Brisbane. Rashudo. Here's Brown. Here's two balls at it. Rashudo just managed to get it out of the way. That could have been messy. Rashudo short to Bode, and he marks it defensive 50. Great work, Mark Rashudo. Gets it back now from Bode. Wants to go one way and back the other, and he finds Edwards. So Tyson Edwards, 10th touch for him coming up. Sean Hart stands the mark. Squares it across goal again. Bode. Possession number 13. He's got a man out on the far wing if you can see him. Here's Bassett. You can see at the back of the screen there. Welsh is just lurking. Bassett gathers now. Wheels onto the left. Can give it over the top to Welsh. Lappin to try and shut him down. Will it sit for Welsh? It does. Tries to get around Lappin. Almost dead on his legs there, Lappin. Beautiful kick from Welsh. And he spots up Burton 48 metres out from goal. Lappin's just running himself into the ground at the moment. Well, that's a great point, but he's not the only Brisbane player that looks dead on his legs. Their midfielders lost all sort of run. Our commanders can't get out of a trot. They don't appear to be handling these conditions well at all. And Adelaide taking full advantage. They look the far superior team. They look a class above Brisbane tonight, especially in this third quarter. Getting the ball inside 50 at will. And again, an important kick for Brett Burton, but he's been a danger all game.
It's kick 1-1. From 48 metres out, Burton. Kick will go right to the line. Will it get there? It won't. Touched. Rush behind. Adelaide doing all the attacking in this third term. Possessions 44 to 21 in the third quarter. You see on the replay, got right to the line. Michael and Shell both providing a contest on the goal line. And the ball will come back into play and find Headland. Inside 50s for the quarter, 8-3 in favour of Adelaide. And it really does tell the story. They are dominating. Headland from the back pocket. This is at the northern end of Football Park. He's going to head around to the western wing. 4 or 5 up. Keating was there, so was Clark. Voss off the ground through the hands of Hart. Adelaide repelling. Back it goes. Lappin close to the line. Needs to give it off. Does to Keating. Scott just fumbled. Not a lot of pressure on him at the time. Now Lappin right in front of us, in front of the members. Now to Black. And Black inside the 50, looking for Brown, finds him, tucked away over the top. That's not too bad at all. Sean Hart whipping it over the top, and that's good footy. Now Lynch in trouble though. Well done, Hart. Put good pressure on him. Still Hart. Well done, Hart. That's a good second and third effort. Tyson Edwards. Now to Johnson. Rashudo under pressure. From Scott. Bickley. 100 mile an hour. Bickley. Scott is getting up, but he doesn't know where he is. He's looking around. He's still getting up. Adelaide go downfield, down toward left half forward, inside their 50, but only just. No, it's out of bounds. And I am sure, will feel for this young man because Scott was hit from pillar to post. Nothing in it. Bickley came at him at 100 mile an hour. What a graphic shot that was. That was just the will to get up then, wasn't it, Chris? He didn't know where he was. Brad Scott said have been hit on getting up, and you could see it in his eyes. Unbelievable stuff.
He was out cold, and that is courage. I mean, that's when your football instincts take over.
Well, he was lukewarm. He wasn't quite cold. He did sit up, and he's down again now. The stretch is coming out for Brad Scott. It's a sickening collision. His head just snapped back.
I guess the good thing is, you know, he's okay. He's physically okay, but just that physical
he's looked better.
That is a great part of the game. Two blokes full on at the footy. Nothing else in it but a good contest at the footy. Mark Bickley as courageous as ever. So is Scott, and that is a good footy collision. And Mark Bickley, to have the presence of mind to get up and take the footy, shows you what sort of form he's in.
Yeah, Lee Matthews watching on.
He's got some worries, Lee Matthews.
Motorised stretcher is out on the ground now.
Bickley watches on, 7 minutes 42 remaining until three-quarter time. Out comes the stretcher, the motorised stretcher.
So let's sum up the situation. Adelaide are 11.975. Brisbane is 6.541. The margin is 34 points. 7 3/4 minutes remaining in this third term. As Jonathan Brown comes to the bench, they're putting the neck brace on as a precautionary measure there for Brad Scott. As you mentioned, he got what looks like a bit of severe whiplash really out of that situation. His head just was flung back and then probably hit himself on the back of the head on the ground as he landed.
Yep, and no one likes to see a player go off on a stretcher like that. But that's a courageous football collision, and that's part of the game.
Francis Leach is no more than 5 metres from Brad Scott.
He's talking to the doctor. He's in a pretty awful way, but he is talking to the doctor, so he is conscious. They're just rolling him onto the stretcher, as we can see, making sure that he's comfortable. They've put the neck brace on him for a precaution.
Made wonderful advances in technology and science and these sort of things in the last few years. There's another angle of it. Both players with their eyes on the football. You see there Scott, Bickley came through, collected him right with the bone of his hip.
Look, and that's, with full credit to Mark Bickley, he's played so much footy. He's the master at the contested ball, and he knows how to protect his body when he's going for a contested footy. Just rotated his hips, pushed the strong part of his body into the opponent. Very smart play on Mark Bickley's behalf. Obviously would have intended to hurt Scott like he did, but a very, very clever move by Mark Bickley.
So we see two groups of players. There they are, gathering at half forward now, just to assess the situation. Brisbane in front of 47,279, a wonderful crowd in. They trail by 34 points. All the Brisbane players now starting to come in towards this huddle. A chance for them to now assess themselves. They've got under 8 minutes remaining in the third term. They lack some spark. They need something to lift them. Maybe just this stoppage in play gives them a chance to gather their thoughts.
Look, I think you're right. It certainly does give them that opportunity. They've been very disappointing since quarter time. And the game is slipping out of their grasp. They need their leadership group, the bosses, the blacks, the Ackermanis, especially, have been incredibly quiet since the first 10 minutes to stand up and take this game by the scruff of the neck. It is slipping out of their grasp. Adelaide have been tremendous with this with the slippery footy. And Brisbane have got 5 minutes to get themselves back in the game.
Ackermanis 8 possessions, none for the quarter, yet to touch it in this third term. A throw in. Bode slaps it to the back of the contest. John Cock there for Adelaide. Voss on hands and knees. Black throws it out into space, but only as far as Goodwin. Here's Laddams for Adelaide. Pumps it back inside 50. Here comes Burton. Ran underneath it on that occasion. Went through the legs of Kane Johnson. Ashcroft put his body on the line. Edwards there to tackle him. Black through his hands. Nodding. A little gift to Lappin. Possession number 27 for Nigel Lappin to Johnson. Chris Johnson now can have a bounce. The Shepherd laid there from Hart. Disposes of Bickley. Over the top to Voss. Voss will run to the 50. The captain, at the last moment, clever play. Just squared it up to Pike. Just as he was about to unload, spotted him out of the corner of his eye. And a much better percentage play there from Michael Voss.
Yeah, that's all class, isn't it? He does play the percentages, a very unselfish player. And could have given him a licence to have a shot breaking through 50. But chips to Martin Pike, dead in front, 35 out. And a goal that Brisbane need desperately.
Martin Pike, first shot at goal for this evening. 45 metres out directly in front. Brisbane need this one and he gets it.
Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. The Doors Plus May sale is now on. Our warehouse is bursting with stock. Thousands of doors must be moved in the next 2 weeks. You will save on a large range of entry doors. Bifolds that save you space. French doors to open up your home. Add style and value with feature interior doors. And entry combinations, the finishing touch to your home. Plus we can fit, stain and deliver. Save at the Doors Plus May sale now on Australia-wide. Doors Plus, no fuss.
Blood rule there. Marcus Ashcroft coming off. Cut streaming from above his left temple.
And until right then, there's the rooms. And for Scott, who we saw 3 or 4 minutes ago, have a heavy collision with Mark Bickley being taken down. Marcus Ashcroft, until now, had played every minute of every game so far this year. And he was the only Brisbane player to have done it. But that's not the case now because he's off with the blood rule. Here's Pike. He kicked the last goal. McGregor with him. Cleverly done by McGregor. Tyson Edwards, Andrew McLeod all in the area. Over and out. 11-9, 7-5, 75-47. 6 minutes and 16 seconds remaining until three-quarter time.
Lee Matthews obviously aware that their forward line not functioning well. Martin Pike moved to centre-half forward. Jonathan Brown off the ground. He's searching for an answer. Yet to be found for Brisbane.
Bigland's getting ready to come on. Bode to Johnson, who had it, lost it, over the top of the footy again. Let's go down to Francis Leach.
Marcus Ashcroft has a cut on the top of his head. The doctor's now just trying to patch it up to make sure he can get back out there.
That's Francis. Francis Leach down on the boundary, keeping us up to date with all of that important information. Keating, Black running onto it. Is about to storm inside 50. Tight angle, chipping it short. McGregor should mark, does. A mark that needed to be taken. Last line of defence for Kenny McGregor. Goes to the outer side, finds Ben Hart, been busy this evening, done everything asked of him. 13th possession coming up. Frustrated Simon Black stands the mark. Things just not quite happening for Brisbane at the moment.
And again, Simon Black should have inside of 50. You'd expect him to have a shot for goal, just choosing the wrong option.
Hart hugs the boundary line, out towards the wing. Uncontested mark taken by McGregor. It's flat at the moment, Brisbane. They need some spark, someone to excite them. McGregor squares it up back inside defensive 50 to Hart. He's got some time. Has a look. Takes it straight up the middle. It's the hard run of Mark Bickley. He just keeps on going. He switches to the members' wing. Nigel Smart's got some time and space. White now comes in to close him down. Sweeping handball over the top to Biglands. White gives chase. Biglands goes inside the 50. It was a good chase there from Darryl White. Just forced the kick wide. And the mark is taken by Johnson. And 50.
Oh, dear.
So that rule. Johnson takes the mark. Burton not in the contest. Comes late, brings him to ground. That is 50 metres to the spirit of the law, which they're now starting to apply. Always has been the law.
Keating off, Charman on.
Yes, it's not the law, it's just the interpretation, they say.
Johnson goes short to Hart. Sweeping handball back to Johnson. The give and go back to Hart. It's just not happening for them at the moment. Back to Johnson at close quarters. He did well to break the tackle. Thought about the handball, sold the dummy to Bassett. Now spears it inside 50. Numbers with Adelaide. Shell could have gone up and taken the mark himself. It's a free kick to Adelaide nonetheless against Lynch. Bickley moves it quickly, looking for John Cock. He stands tall and marks despite pressure from Ackermanis. Handball to Smart, missed its target. Tries to crash through Voss. Bode, was he taken in the back? He was. Free kick Adelaide. Free kicks 9-8 in favour of Brisbane at the moment. Bode. Handball to Smart, tries to get around Power and now does so. Back to Bode. Still backward to the centre circle. Not sure where to go. Dances around Darryl White and thumps it inside 50. Here comes Shell. Won't quite get there. Off the hands of Biglands. He recovers at ground level. The tackle came from Ackermanis. And Shattuck thumps it outside 50 towards the line. Hart more than happy to take it over. We'll have a throw in on the outer side.
Again, the forward pressure from Adelaide. The ability of their forwards just to tackle and hold the ball in the danger zone all year has been a real feature. Something they work on at training, they work on very hard. And Andrew McLeod does it time and time again.
28 points is the lead to Adelaide. Lappin. That was a good hand pass in the end. High kick. Down toward left half forward, mark taken by McGregor. He's done that a couple of times, one a bit deeper. Goodwin, short pass to Hart. Thought about the hand pass, now decides to go beyond the wing. Good kick to Bickley. Off he goes, he's got Johnson running for him. Johnson to Biglands, the big man from 60, awkward kick. Welsh through his hands, came in at 100 mile an hour. And away go Brisbane again, and Headland goes out wide. He's got Shattuck from back pocket. Sends it about 45 metres downfield. Charman, strong grab. He was their number 5 ruckman last year. He's got 50. He was their number 5 ruckman last year. It's been a great story. He's won maybe 2, possibly 1, according to the club. They reckon he's come on in leaps and bounds. Strong grab and then 50 against Adelaide. 11-9 to 7-5. 75 to 47. Kick smothered in the end. Anticlimactic. That's for sure. Biglands. Well done, Biglands. Off a step, kicks about 35-40 metres, and that's a strong grab. That is a very, very strong grab by Bradshaw. Couple down off the footy. Bradshaw goes to Headland, who's marauding at half-back. Now about to explode past the wing. No real pressure. Chipping it short. 2 or 3 options. One of them was McRae. Left foot by McRae from 75. This will give them a really big chance. And Lynch has taken a big mark. No, not quite. Falls through by Smart. Good defensive work by Smart in the end. Lynch, half a chance there.
Yeah, some great work again by Nathan Bassett. As we've said before, Alistair Lynch has one of the strongest bodies in football going around. Nathan Bassett matched him on that occasion, forced a minor score. But Brisbane are having a moment. The next couple of minutes before three-quarter time are very important.
The margin 27 points. We've gone 26 minutes in the third term. It's the outer side, Goodwin. Kicks out towards the wing. Oh, Biglan's from behind, couldn't quite bring it down. Pike, handball over the top. Stengline cut it off. It was intended for Power. Power goes in now, tries to keep it in, ricochets off the legs and out for a throw in. The one thing I guess we noticed most about Brisbane tonight is that generally so mechanical when they go forward. Most about Brisbane tonight is that generally so mechanical when they go forward. They've got Brown across half forward giving an option. You can see the crowd of 47,279, brilliant crowd. We've got Lynch who stays back, Bradshaw who leads. At the moment it's just not working for them. They're trying to manufacture goals haphazardly.
Jonathan Brown's had a moment or two, but certainly their forward line has not functioned.
Lappin, 29th touch, goes towards Lynch. And speak of the devil, he takes a mark 20 metres out, more or less directly in front. But again, it's sort of haphazard, isn't it? It's not the way we're used to seeing it from Brisbane. Bassett's fuming.
And he's not happy, but again, we saw 30 seconds ago, Nathan Bassett was able to force a minor score against that very strong body from Alistair Lynch on that occasion, and maybe it's not always legal from Alistair. He puts his body in front, wrestles, and if you're going to get in a wrestle with Alistair Lynch, you are going to lose.
Good possession for Lynch. He's been 1-1 this evening. He's to bring the margin back to 21 points. Lynch directly in front. He converts back to 21 points at Football Park.
I'll tell you what, they're running on empty out there. They really need some fresh legs. And here they come, off the bench and raring to go. This will make a huge difference, straight into the heat of the action. This is exactly what they need.
Golden draft, thanks. Unbelievable picture, superb quality, huge wide viewing. It's a JVC plasma panel from Truscott Hi-Fi, and it's only $9,998. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
So that lead 21 at one stage. Adelaide out to a lead of 34. Bounce in the middle. Charman up in ruck for Brisbane, and Biglan's for Adelaide. Grabs the footy. High kick. Andrew McLeod made a metre, couldn't quite take the mark. Bickley, will he be rewarded? No, he won't. He's on the bottom of the pack. He's courageous, Chris, isn't he?
He certainly is, putting his body on the line again. That looks like there's some blood coming from there. Mark Bickley puts his head where most people wouldn't put their feet. And that one hurt.
Certainly blood there, isn't there? And he copped one last year. Was it last year or the year before when he had about 30-odd stitches in the head?
Yes, I think that's been a familiar sight in Mark's career, that he's put his head down there and come off second best on some occasions. And again, you don't like to see it. For him to lay on the ground, you know he is not well, because his first intent is to get up, and that's obviously hurt him.
Let's have another look at this. And yes, he's hit to the point of the knee, isn't it? Yep.
And they Smart on the top of the head.
And that would hurt. That was Chris Johnson's knee.
And that's a loss to Adelaide. Mark Bickley's third quarter has been outstanding. We said the conditions favour him, and it's good to see him up and okay. And I'm sure he'll be back on the ground before the end of the game. But a significant loss for Adelaide. I mean, Brisbane are flying, and they're having a moment, and that hurts them.
Bickley 13 touches, 7 in this third term, so it backs up exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, look, these conditions really favour him. He's hard and tough for the contest, no doubt about that. His use of the foot has been tremendous, and his 1% of the tackling, the blocking and other things he does has been outstanding. And this is a loss. Hopefully he can get back on the ground for the start of the last quarter.
Just me, or are there a lot more bandages in AFL footy these days? Bandage sponsors must involve your major sponsor of the club these days. You don't get through games without half a dozen blokes ending up looking like the Mummy or Hannibal Lecter.
Well, don't expect Mark Bickley to come back on the ground with a good look.
That's the Olympic...
He'll be wrapped up.
Olympic doctor, Brian Sando, with Mark Bickley, so he'll go down to get stitched up. You think he'll be back pretty soon. 75-54. Play underway again. Brisbane are coming, that's for sure. Three-quarter time is coming as well. There's a chance for Johnson accelerating quickly away from his defensive goal and then chipping it out to the wing. Bigland doing some strong tackling. McGregor brought to ground. Brisbane with weight of numbers. Voss do something useful with that. He does, as usual. Black onto the left boot. Gee, a goal here would be handy. Lynch storming up the ground. Can't mark. It was a good sliding attempt though. Ben Hart knows there's a real problem. That is for sure. If you're an Adelaide supporter, you'd be a bit nervous at the moment. Here's Notting. He's about 35 metres from goal. He's going to chip a goal. He does. Gee, that is a big goal right on the siren. What a goal. 11 goals, 9, 75 Adelaide. But Brisbane have stormed right back into the ball game. They are 8 goals, 6. In fact, 9 goals, 6, 60. 75 plays 60. The margin 15.
Big Brother did a worldwide first and nominated them all.
You're nominated.
Really? Oh.
7:30 Sunday, it's the most important night yet. Each and every housemate is nominated for eviction. But that's not all. Big Brother has another nasty surprise up his sleeve. In a special 2-hour episode, you won't just vote out one housemate, you'll evict 2.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
Who will they be? Double eviction, 7:30 Sunday.
Booze Brothers. BB others cold.
Pick up a slab of BB cans or stubbies, just $27.99, or Crown Lager, $11.99 a six-pack, or $44 a carton. Restock the wine rack with Wynn's Shiraz and Cabernet Shiraz Merlot, $13.99, or Wynn's Riesling, $11.99. Buy 6 and get a bonus Wynn's blanket. Kaiser's full casks with 25% more, $9.99, or just $38 for 4.
BB others cold.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. Chemicals from tobacco smoke get into your bloodstream and can damage the delicate blood vessels inside your eye. We now know that smoking is a major cause of irreversible blindness. Every cigarette is doing you damage.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Brickworks, at the Brickworks, there is fun for all the family.
The Brickworks Markets, open Friday, Saturday, Sunday and public holidays, 9 till 5.
Brickworks.
At SGIC, we assess each home we insure individually, so you won't pay more than you should.
Hello? Look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I can send you a quit book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131 848.
Yep.
131 848.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
So 15 points the margin here at Football Park. And we mentioned when there was a stoppage, could Adelaide use that to gather themselves, Chris? Well, they did, and they grafted 3 goals. It wasn't exciting, scintillating football by any means, but 3 goals nonetheless.
No, Brisbane were great, worked themselves back in the contest. They look gone for all money, but we have got a big game on our hands now for the last quarter.
You see Martin Pike there, kicking a goal.
It wasn't pretty, was it?
Francis Leach is down on the boundary line with Brisbane assistant Gary O'Donnell.
Gary, last 3 goals of that quarter. Hasn't been going right tonight, but just a sniff.
Yeah, the wheel starts to turn. We give ourselves a sniff, only 2.5 goals down. Get the first one, anything can happen.
What did Lee say to the guys about how they can win it tonight from here?
Exactly that, to keep going, getting the ball forward and to keep the momentum going our way early in the quarter.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
So the first goal will be important. It's 15 points the margin. In fact, Brisbane got themselves into a situation where even if Adelaide get the first goal, they're still in the contest, and that is important.
Yet the game's not over after the first goal, and Mark Rashudo into the centre square for this first centre bounce.
Final term action between first and fourth at Football Park. The Crows lead by 15 points. Clark wins the tap. Johnson gets first hands on it. He's wrapped up. We'll have a bounce. Mark Rashudo, 21 possessions for Adelaide. Kane Johnson's had 20, 16 each to Goodwin and Hart. For Brisbane, Nigel Lappin, 29 possessions, 9 clearances, 18 to Voss, 17 each to Black and Pike. Play restarts. There is Black. Rashudo from his knees, got it to Bode. Handball partly smothered by Notting. Crashing in there was Charman. Took Bode out of the contest. McRae. Bode slow to get up.
Yeah.
Another victim. It's been a rough and tough affair tonight. And there is Matthew Bode, and the worse for wear. Copped a rampaging Jamie Charman right in the side of the head, just holding the back of his neck. The free kick is Adelaide's. It's Tyson Stengline right in the middle of the ground. Players bunched at centre-half forward. There's Bowden, that's still in the hands of the trainers. Stengline will kick it inside 50. Stevens sets himself. Bradshaw there as well. The fist from ground level. Chance here for Brisbane. It's Copeland on the left boot up towards the wing. Jonathan Brown's back on the ground to present a target. Stengline, handball to McGregor. Spotted Johnson out of the corner of his eye. The kick finds him now on centre wing. Johnson steps around Notting and Pike. Kicks towards half-forward. Rashudo at the back. Read it off the hands from 55. Spears a pass to the pocket. Beautiful kick. And hits Burton lace out as Mark Bickley prepares to come back on for Adelaide. Brett Burton will have a chance to kick his second goal this evening.
And Brisbane certainly wouldn't be happy with that. You know, as a defender, you've got to keep the ball in front, not let the ball go over the back of the pack. It creates opportunities for the attacking team. Mark Rashudo getting on the end of the loose footy. And beautiful foot skills to hit Burton on the chest. A tough kick from this pocket. Not the best set shot for goal, as we've said before, but his confidence is high. He's provided a target all night, and a very important start to the last quarter if Adelaide and Brett Burton can kick this goal.
So Burton from 30 metres out, kick on its way, just bends it back, and it is through for the opening goal of the final term to Adelaide.
Stratfield's massive home entertainment catalogue is out now. Unbeatable deals on all top brands. Lowest price ever, 68cm colour television. Don't pay over $700. Now only $4.99. That's right, $4.99. Everyone can afford a DVD player now. Prices smashed from an unbeatable $169. Sony 5-speaker Dolby digital surround package, active subwoofer and 500-watt power amplifier was $1,099. The lot only $8.99. Plus buy now and pay later with 12 months interest free. Stratfield, call 1311 77.
So an important goal for Burton, an important goal for Adelaide. It's 12-9 to 9-6. 21 is the lead. Mark Bickley back in business after some repair work. Lappin, who's had some repair work, well inside the 50. This is dangerous. McGregor again, another important mark, Chris.
He's been good after half-time.
Goodwin out wide to Hart. Still with Hart. Short. McLeod outside the defensive 50 now. So an attacking Brisbane now on the defensive as Adelaide works it to the wing. Chance for Copeland, knocks it cleverly. Ackermanis caught, they give it away. Bode cleverly done. To Hart, to Bickley. And Bickley hand passes quickly. Stengline, Stevens. Well, that was meant for Smart. Lappin, Pike, hand pass is good. Very good. An opportunity now for Johnson, goes in short, finds Voss. And Voss will kick from about 35 metres. And what's he done with it? He has missed. Voss has missed.
Called a play on by the umpire there. I think he's a little bit bemused as to why.
Well, I think the umpire may have indicated that didn't travel to 15 metres. And a let-off for Adelaide.
12.981 Adelaide, Brisbane 9.761. Bassett goes short to Goodwin. He marks offensive 20. Plays on to go around the outer side. He's got a man in space. He has the sit now, but it's Bickley. Brings it to ground. There's Voss at ground level. Socket off the ground by Johnson. Man down is Copeland. Crashing through there is Bradshaw. War of attrition at Footy Park tonight. It comes to Copeland. He goes by hand to Power. Power looks up from 45 metres out. Kicks for goal. Will it get there, Bassett? All-important hand. And it is a rush behind.
And it is an all-important hand from Nathan Bassett. How many times has that hand got in the way? I mean, it's probably one of the best hands in football. It's not pretty, but it's a good hand.
It's not an ugly hand by any means. Bassett out towards half-back. Sting line, waited underneath it. Copeland took the mark. The margin now 19 points. We've gone 5 minutes in the final term. Brisbane looking for a spark. Copeland, eyes darting around, looking for an option. Still not sure. Decides now he just chip it inside the 50. Pike was his target. Smart to beat it. Clears the both of them. Charman at the back. Cop one high. Just across the top of the head as he dished off the handball to Lynch. And there's Bassett again.
He's had a frustrating night, hasn't he?
See it here as he turns.
And that's
collects him with the side of the arm. And Jamie Charman will have a chance to shoot for goal from about 40 metres out. Out on the right half forward flank. He kicked one goal in his career. In he comes. And hits the post. So a couple of opportunities go begging for Brisbane early in this final term. The margin now back to 3 straight goals. We've gone 6 minutes in the final term. It's 12-9 to 9-9 at Football Park.
Benny Hart, northern end, 35 metres out to Smart. Hand pass. Now Goodwin, outside the defensive 50, down to Bassett. Got that hand up again, Chris.
Just not a good hand on that occasion, Mark.
No. Out of bounds, umpire to toss in. Smack bang on the wing on that eastern side. Charman and Clark, Andrew McLeod. Oh, intelligent feet by Andrew McLeod, and then sends it towards centre half forward. Big pack into the air. Welsh is front and square. Umpire lets it go. Looked a bit dodgy. Black quickly and cleverly knotting. Now Ackermanis exploding through the middle, looking for a forward. Tyson Edwards storming up the ground. A chance now. Here's Power accepting the hand pass from 55 metres. Kicks to the goal square. Wonderful mark taken by Lynch. What a mark, and Bassett is frustrated. That was a sensational grab.
Well, I think you're right, Mark. That is just pure frustration. And once again, the strength of Alistair Lynch. That is his signature move. One-on-one wrestling. And he is unbeatable, as we've said before, in that predicament. And Nathan, you can shake your head and be frustrated, but there didn't appear to be too much wrong with that. And this is a big goal for Brisbane. Gets them back to within 2 goals.
He's got 2 goals won so far, Alistair Lynch. And he's 20 metres from goal, straight in front, and he's put it through.
Yes, and the crowd...
Always at its peak.
So Brisbane just keep coming. The margin back to 2 goals. Amazing side they are. They've been playing like they're out of form all night, and they could still win this game. Here's Lappin. He's been outstanding all evening. Keeps the ball moving forward for them. Bode, some more desperation required from Adelaide. John Cock to space towards half forward. Stevens attacks it. He's Adelaide's only chance. Got 2 to beat. He's pretty happy to find the line and does so. Throw in. 14 and a half minutes remaining in this game. The margin back to 2 goals. And Brisbane they've just gutted it out, really, haven't they? They've just ground themselves back into this game. Hasn't been their night in terms of free-flowing, exciting football. They've just worked hard and stayed in the contest. Johnson, handball over the top to John Conker's clever. He runs, gets away from Lappin. Handball inside to Bickley, made him stop and turn around. It comes back to Welsh. Welsh has got a couple to kick it out to. He does to Johnson. Johnson goes for goal right to the line, and Darryl White takes the mark.
And Graham Johncock, the more you see of him, the more you've got to admire the kid. He's only an 18-year-old, but he has got a real football future.
White wants to move it quickly to the outer side. Well played, Ben Hart. Read it beautifully. Back with the flight, then turned his body at just the right moment to take it 50 metres out. Welsh offers the lead inside 50. Kick misses its target. Welsh, best he can probably do is find the line. Lappin's there as well. Neither take it out. It's still alive. Socket off the ground now by Stevens, out on the full. That wasn't the result I think Lappin was originally looking for.
No, it certainly wasn't, and probably not the kick Gary Ayres was looking for from Ben Hart. Drilled to kick the ball to the head of the square, and Ben Hart on that occasion choosing the wrong option.
Bradshaw in defence. Long kick, outer side. At the back is McLeod. Can he create something for Adelaide? A couple of men inboard. One of them is Bickley, and finds him. So Bickley, 65 metres out from goal. Looks up. The leads are offered. One is Shell, and it's a beautiful pass from Bickley. That finds Shell extending out on the lead, 40 metres out from goal, slight angle.
Spoken a lot this year about Mark Bickley's improved foot skills. Never more evident than on that occasion. He took a very, very good mark in these conditions from the pass from Andrew McLeod, and then to hit Daniel Shell on the burst in traffic. Excellent work from Mark Bickley.
A dollop of Vaseline or hemorrhoid cream on the top of Mark Bickley's head. I don't think it was a big pigeon, but Shell has it. Big kick. 45 metres out from goal. It is a big kick in this game, and he puts it through. Daniel.
Popular too if you're offering tax-free cars and trucks like Transit tax-free and Falcon tax-free, but it must end June 30 and only from your Ford dealer.
18 is the lead as Lee Matthews ponders, chats, has a good think about things. 13-9 to 10 goals, 9-18 the difference after the bounce at centre. Stenglein, Bode in trouble. Lappin, short, Johnson looking to give off. Bode, he's in trouble. And the umpire says holding the ball. Voss tackled him, and Brisbane to take the free kick. Voss, the recipient, in the middle of Football Park, in front of a massive crowd. Away he goes. Long kick, well inside the 50. Oh, he's done it again! He has done it again. Lynch has taken a beauty.
Well, you can't beat that. Simon Black comes off.
Have another look at this.
Charman comes off, sorry, and Keating on.
Great grab by Lynch, and Charman is off, as Chris said, just getting this at all different angles, and again, nothing Bassett could do.
No, that is unbeatable, and when Alistair Lynch is hot, I mean, that is a sign of Alistair Lynch from yesteryear. We've seen him do that on many occasions.
Well,
the eye doesn't look all that good.
He's Charman on the bench now. It's 13-9 to 10-9. 87 to 69, 12 and a half minutes remaining, so we've got everything set up here. And Lynch for Brisbane's 11, 20 metres directly in front, and he's put it through. 11 to Brisbane.
Pick up a slab of VB Cancel Stubbies, just $27.99, or Crown Lager, $11.99 a six-pack, or $44 a carton. Restock the wine rack with Wynns Shiraz and Cabernet Shiraz Merlot, $13.99, or Wynns Riesling, $11.99. Buy six and get a bonus Wynns blanket. Kaiser School casks with 25% more, $9.99, or just $38 for four.
Baby, I was cold.
So 12 points the margin now. Brisbane breathe again. There's Jamie Charman, who's received some attention on his shoulder. Here's Francis Leach.
His left shoulder was giving him real grief when he came out. The physio's having a look at it there to make sure that he might be able to come back out.
So Keating versus Clark. Boss wrapped up in the tackle. And what an important goal this next one is.
It just shows you how important having a player that can take a contested mark like Alistair Lynch then is. I mean, you just hang the ball in the air, you can hope, and Alistair Lynch taking the mark, kicking the important goal.
Look at the Brisbane forward line. Lynch has been left one out with Smart. They've pushed everyone else out. They realise Lynch is hot at the moment. He's kicked 4 goals. Another bounce.
And the significant thing then is Nathan Bassett, who's been on Alistair Lynch all night, just been taken off him for the last few minutes. Nigel Smart got the job on him now.
Shattuck dragging Bassett away to the pocket to try and take him away from Lynch so they can't double team him. Keating and Clark again. Loose ball, Black. Bodies crashing. Johnson's got it there for Adelaide. Farmed it forward. They just pile in on top of it, and yet another bounce. Under 11.5 minutes remaining. The margin is 2 goals in favour of Adelaide. It's been a fierce contest all night. Both sides putting their bodies on the line continually. We've seen plenty of casualties. There's Bassett trying to work back to the square. Shattuck just holding him out there wide in the forward pocket. Voss to run onto it for Brisbane. Stengline with him all night. Diving on top of it is Johnson. Lappin's got him, and yet another bounce.
We'll expect to see this for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Players throwing their bodies on top of the ball. Again, the arm wrestle continues. Next goal is critical.
There's Lynch and Smart. Shattuck and Bassett. Clark. A couple of taps. Eventually it comes Adelaide's way through Ben Hart towards half forward. Chance for Stevens. Gathered the bouncing ball. Did well. Lays it off to John Cock. John Cock to Welsh. Welsh to the skipper, Rashudo. To McLeod. He's pushed wide to the pocket. Wants to come inboard. Back to Rashudo. Gets around Johnson from the boundary line. He squares it up to the top of the square. Great vision. Keating got across. An important hand there from Clark Keating. And he shuts down what may have been a goal for Adelaide. Brilliant effort.
Oh, it was a courageous effort from Clark Keating. Into the danger zone as Ed and McLeod goes to ground, has the presence of mind to get up again. Dish off to Rashudo. It's a disciplined thing to hit the head of the square. Keating did well.
Ball alive here for Adelaide. Brisbane have it right on the line. It's Black. Kicks across the face of goal and finds Notting in the back pocket. The margin's still 12 points, under 10 minutes remaining. Out towards half-back, Headland. The kick missed its mark. Welsh through the legs of Shell to Goodwin. Over the top, a man in support. It's John Cock. He's 65 from home. Goes inside the 50. And the mark is taken by Rashuto.
And again, Graham Johncock hasn't done a lot, but what he does is special. And again, a cool head, just a chip short, not blast the footy, chip short and find Rashudo. Again, at that area where Mark Rashudo will have a ping at the goals. He'll back himself from here.
He's coming up for his 26th possession, the most for Adelaide. He's really snuck up on the stat sheet. Worked hard all night. Tough angle from here. In he comes. From 52 metres, Rashudo launches it. Oh, it's bending back. It's bending back. Has it got the carry? It does not. Right to the line, and yet another rush behind. So the margin out to 13 points. 17.5 minutes gone in this final term. It was a close thing right to the line. The amazing vertical leap of Darryl White saves the day for Brisbane.
Johnson goes out wide. He's got a man out there loose. 88-75, 8 minutes and 51 seconds remaining. Headland away from the back pocket. Just backward of the wing, over the top is Clark. Chance for Ackermanis, high kick, gained about 20 metres. Rashudo having to wait a long time for the footy. Black came at him, but Rashudo marks on his chest. Never sure in those situations, Chris, as to who's coming from behind.
He wouldn't care.
88-75. Rashudo gets good distance with it. Cleverly knocked on. Opportunity for Bode, runs onto the footy. In the forward pocket, needs to think about this. Burton, no mark. Notting, Voss, kicking to the boundary line, still in, Stevens. And Stevens squares it, needs a body, can't get one at the moment. Welsh from the back. An opportunity now for Goodwin, smothered by Brisbane. Gee, they've been desperate in defence in the last couple of minutes. Headland, out wide, Lappin. Ackermanis runs into trouble, runs into big trouble. Lappin Knocks it sideways. Johnson's got it now at half-back. Exploding away, chipping it about 25 metres downfield. This is Black. 88-75, Boss up. He's okay. Pike. Forward to the wing. Eastern side of Footy Park. Margin 13. Adelaide in front. 7.5 minutes remaining. Here's Pike. High kick. Inside the 50. They need a mark and they've got one! Bradshaw's taken a ripper. It's Keating. Keating has taken a ripper. 7 minutes and 15 seconds remaining, and Clark Keating will kick from about 35 metres.
Well, again, the value of finding a big man that can take a contested mark, and that is as good as you'll see, especially given the conditions. Clark Keating, very good mark overhead. And the kicks for goal do not come much bigger than this one.
Well, the lead is 13 for Adelaide, and Clark Keating is on a 45-degree angle, and he's kicking from 40 metres. And this will make it interesting. And he gets it. Here come Brisbane.
An incredible mark.
Tom Cruise. Superstar.
He set me up.
Before you see him in Minority Report, 9:30 Sunday, see him in the original all-action thriller, Mission Impossible, 9:30 Sunday on 10.
The loose ball bounces into the middle. The pack converges over the footy. Oh, crunching tackle, and it's on. We're all getting stuck into it now, and the crowd's loving it.
Golden draft, thanks. Back to 7 points. We have a blood rule. Mark Bickley comes to the bench. Lee Matthews on the phone. They're going to have to do it without Michael Voss and the run of Michael Voss, because he's going to the goal square. He's been cramping up in that right calf. Some uncertainty here. Bickley not sure. They don't want to swap a tall for a small, so Massey comes on.
That hurts Adelaide, doesn't it? Losing Bickley at this critical stage. His form's been tremendous. They want to get him back out there as soon as they can.
There's Michael Voss. He's gone to full forward with Sten Glein, his shadow for the evening. Cramping in that calf. It's 7 points the margin. We've got less than 7 minutes remaining. What a fierce contest this has been. Goodwin to centre-half forward. Welsh got hands at ground level. Chance here for Johnson to Bradshaw. Bradshaw out towards the wing. Copeland's got some space if it sits for him. Bow to try and shut him down. Did just enough and forced the turnover. Chance here for Adelaide through McGregor. The kick ricocheted off that contest. At the back is Goodwin. Goodwin keeps it in to centre-half forward. Chance here for Bradshaw over the back. Chance here for Rasciuto, and the ball goes to the line for a throw-in. 6.25 minutes remaining. The margin back to 7 points. Brisbane have kicked 3 goals, 3 in this quarter. Adelaide 2 goals, 1. Remembering, Adelaide were 34 points in front midway through the third term. Hart's kick was smothered. It ricocheted to Goodwin. He snaps it inside 50. Headland goes back, juggles it, couldn't quite take it. Ball still alive. Burton keeps it in, slung to ground. Rasciuto squares it towards the top of the goal square. Shell comes out for Adelaide. At ground level, there's still a chance. Stevens picks it up, snaps it back, and kicks the goal!
When it comes to furniture, ma'am, no one beats Liquidation King for price. Floor coverings, no one comes close to Discount City Carpets, baby.
Discount City Carpets' huge stock take sale is on now, with massive price reductions on timber flooring, ceramic tiles, vinyls, rugs, and thousands of metres of carpet, clearing at genuine savings. Some stock below cost. Discount City Carpets' biggest stock take sale yet.
Now that's a sale.
Discount City Carpets, superstores and super warehouse. Your one-stop flooring shop.
So it's 94 to 81. And the lead back out to 13 points for Adelaide, the home side, in front of around 47-odd thousand. Just under 6 minutes remaining. Bounce of the ball in the middle again. Biglands, Johnson, down to about 70, now to about 55. Mad charge to right half forward. Massey has just come on for Bickley. Brisbane repelling. Down ground, Rasciuto getting underneath it, knocking it over the line. And the umpire says toss it in. 14-10, 12-9. 5.5 remaining. Goodwin pointing. Western side. Laddams. And he's going to get a free kick. So Chris Laddams to take the free kick on the wing and push Adelaide forward. Looking for an option. Left foot, 45, 50 metres, easy one in the end. Des Headland marks on defensive 50. The margin's 13 points. Can Brisbane come again? The square-up kick was a little dangerous. It was taken by Lappin. It's opened up the angles now for Brisbane. He streams away from centre-half back. To the outer side, Power on the bounce. Wheels around. Handball on the overlap to White. He kicks it inside 50. It's wide open. Bassett leads in the race. The ball set up nicely. Great tackle laid on him. Going nowhere. The Brisbane forwards working hard to retain the football.
And great work from Nathan Bassett. Took the ball, took the player on, and didn't release the footy. Occasionally players do release the footy. It spills out, creates a scoring opportunity for Brisbane. Nathan Bassett did well to hold it in.
Look at the players around this ball. Keating, some outbound space. Got it out to Lappin. He balances himself from 45, screws it back towards the line. It's a point. Could be an important one. Brings the margin back to 12 points. We've gone almost 25 minutes in this final term. Nigel Lappin, 2 behinds for the evening. It's 14-10-94. Brisbane are 12-10-82. We've got 4.5 minutes remaining, just under. Hart takes it outside 50. McGregor there for Adelaide. It spills to the back of the contest. Goodwin has a runner. Stevens across his body to half forward. Welsh tried to jump early and use his body at ground level. Headland went to hack. Got it out of there, only as far as Laddams. Around the corner, finds Rashudo 55 from home. He's got men running on, one of them is Bode. Chips it over the top and Bode runs back and takes the mark. 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, some very, very cool, calm heads from Adelaide then. First of all, Chris Laddams to take the ball at ground level, get on his non-preferred side, pick out Mark Rashudo, who again had the presence of mind and the composure, just a balanced chip inside 50. To Matthew Bode, who is a very good kick for goal. He's on his preferred side. The left leg will swing the ball in nicely for goal. And this could be enough to put the last nail in Brisbane's coffin.
3.5 minutes remaining. Bode. From 35 metres out to finish the job. In he comes and puts it through.
Morning. Shaving again. Dry. Red. Oh, it stings. Not anymore. New Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm. Refreshing, soothing and moisturising for skin that feels better than ever. Morning. Smooth. Nasty. All right. Bring it on. New Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm. For men who dare to care.
Goal.
So Bode celebrates. It's a little more composed there. Lee Matthews struggles to come to terms with this situation. 15-10 to 12-10, 100-82. 3 minutes and 17 seconds remaining. Adelaide going into attack again. Laddams being held onto. Umpire doesn't agree. Ball to the side of the pack. Headland in trouble. Trying to work it away. Does. Gets it to Black. Hand passes okay to Bradshaw. Bradshaw sends the footy out toward the wing. An opportunity for Pike. Brisbane into attack again. This is dangerous. Inside the 50. Lynch. Ackermanis. Left foot kick. Left foot kick is a goal. Ackermanis gets a late goal.
Well, a great response from Brisbane, and the door is still open. 3 minutes. There's plenty of time to kick 2 goals. Jason Ackermanis, who started this game in a blaze of glory. But Simon Goodwin's done the job on him tonight. He's so dangerous on that left foot. Kicks truly and keeps the door ajar for Brisbane. But the significant thing with Adelaide, the last 3 centre bounces, they've been able to get the ball away. That is their strength. They'll certainly want to get this one away and get it into their forward half.
He's averaged 21 touches a game, only 14 tonight for Ackermanis, but an important goal. Keeps Brisbane's faint hopes alive. Bode, there's another centre clearance. Towards half forward, Welsh takes the mark. That is going to make it difficult. Welsh wants to go inside the 50. The lead comes from Burton. He takes it on the half volley to McLeod from deep in the pocket. There's a free kick. It's coming back. It's going Adelaide's way. It's going to Burton. Unfairly disposed of after he got rid of the football.
Yes, and once again, the significant thing, Adelaide able to get the ball out of the centre square. I mean, we know how dangerous they are in that area, and it restarts around the ground. But clearly getting the ball out of the centre square, as we see Brett Burton just throwing off the ball after he got rid of it.
It's touch and go. It's a close thing, isn't it?
Yeah, not a lot in it. Adelaide will take it. As will Brett Burton. Absolutely. And he's kicked pretty well for goal tonight. His confidence is up. He's attacked the ball well. It's a tough kick, though.
See his angle. It's from right on 50 in the end. He decides to kick it to the top of the square. They come flying out towards it. The fist comes down to McRae, and they break off half-back Brisbane. Ackermanis off the back edge of the centre square needs to find a target. Pike is it, and he marks. Lynch alone inside 50. Pike wants to go quickly, chips it over the top. Here comes Lynch. Standing tall was Edwards. Still at ground level. Power attacks the goal square. Mark Brisbane. Shattuck takes the mark at the top of the goal square. And Brett Burton, I guess, was doing the team thing, kicking it to the top of the square, but it was a dangerous kick because hindsight is 20/20, but it gave Brisbane the opportunity to run hard out of defence. Here comes Shattuck, 10 metres out, puts it through. It's a goal into the football park.
What's this, Ralph? Oh, a new promotion for our 28-point suspension safety check, boss. I mean, for only $14, you get a complete inspection of all steering and suspension components, Petter's drive-on shock absorber test, an obligation-free analysis, and written report. And, boss, all this is carried out by Petter's expert technicians.
Petter's, straight advice, specialists you understand.
And no bull. Well, we take a deep breath, a collective deep breath. 15-10, 14-10. 6 the difference. Stevens out of the middle. High kick to centre half forward. A chance now for Welsh. Welsh 35 metres from goal. Left foot kick, it's offline. It's offline and he hasn't scored.
And again, Adelaide getting the ball out of the centre square when they need to have won the footy and the contest has been on. Adelaide have been able to get the ball away from the centre square. A fantastic advantage for them.
So a minute 35 remaining. One straight kick. Throw in left forward pocket for Adelaide. Biglan's knocking it to the side. Stevens. McLeod. Black. High kick to half back. Adelaide a chance to go into attack again, although, yes,
great work.
Well done. Good persistence. Mark inside 50. And Adelaide with a big chance here through Stevens. And Stevens will go back, and he will kick from 40 metres slight angle.
Will Matthew Bode win a more important ball this year?
Oh, I don't know, and it was a courageous effort too. Got knocked out of the contest, dived on top, and then got to his feet. And that's all you've got to do, bang the ball inside 50 and hope. We've spoken tonight about the value of a contested mark or a mark inside 50. Mark Stevens, whose game has been pretty good tonight, has one of the most important kicks for goal he would have had in a long time.
Well, let's set this up. 6 the difference, a minute 3 remaining. We can see all of that. And we can see Stevens. We're going to ride this with him. He's kicked 2-2 so far, but as Chris McDermott said, none more important than this drop punt. He kicks, and he has missed. He's missed. But the margin is out to 7 points in favour of Adelaide, under a minute remaining.
They need to get it from one end to the other, get a goal, or a point, I guess, to try for a draw, but they prefer a goal, take it back to the centre for a centre break. 52 seconds on the clock. They've got to win the football, Brisbane. Bode puts it back inside 50. Here's a chance. Michael dropped the mark, though. Here's a chance for Stevens. Adelaide still alive. Comes out to McRae. Out towards the wing. Ackermanis underneath it. Taps it forward, was clever. Voss, they break for him. Back to Ackermanis with 35 on the clock. Handball over the top to Johnson. A free kick. A free kick. And it's going the way of Brisbane. The ball will come back. The clock is stopped at 30 seconds.
Come back to Ackermanis.
It has been a push in the back after he got rid of it. There it is from Stenglein. He knows he has to move it quickly. Bumps it long. They need Lynch to take a mark. He's pushed under the contest. Play on's the call. At the back, Power tries to tap it. Shattuck. They need at least a point. It comes to Pike. Pike from the boundary line. Snaps it back. Is it a point or out on the full? It's out on the full. Well, they needed a point with 15 seconds on the clock. That would have given them a restart and a chance at a draw. But Martin Pike misses the lot. And Adelaide breathe again. 7 points the difference. Gary S takes the headphones off.
He knows that was the last roll of the dice. Smart will go to the outer side. The mark will be taken there by McGregor. He'll chip it over the top. And the mark taken by Massey. The siren will sound in any moment. With 47,279 fans go for rest. Adelaide 15-11, 101 have defeated the reigning premiers 14-10-94 by 7 points. Gallant performance from Brisbane. They trailed by 34 points midway through that third term. They gave it everything they had, but in the end, Adelaide steadied and got over the line by 7 points. Wonderful contest. It was fierce all night. But in the end, the home side triumphant at Football Park.
How do you imagine your wedding? Something small, something big.
Something dramatic to go with us being nude. Okay. What?
8:30 Monday, 10 invites you to a very special evening.
So this is your outfit. Nice earrings.
The most revealing episode you'll ever see.
I embrace nudity.
Okay, fine. Consider this your own nudist camp. No, don't.
It's time to find out how much of a man Evan really is. When Verena presents The Secret Life of Us, Monday on 10.
We started playing cricket, and I hit the ball so high that Uncle Mark, he forgot where he was going. He tried to catch the ball and landed face first in the mud. It was so funny, Dad. He should have been there.
And there's the siren and another great result. They're on a roll. They are on fire. They're unbeatable at home and they're just as brilliant away. No one's even getting close.
Golden draft, thanks.
No deposit interest-free. I'm now at LaCornu.
We'd never taken on a new apprentice before.
Now I don't know what we'd do without Lisa.
I get training in everything, from recognising different plant varieties to dealing with customers.
You'd be amazed where new apprenticeships can take you these days. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
McDonald's biggest game ever is here. Simply get your game stamps on selected products and match the letters on the Scrabble board for your chance to win. There's 5 Honda CR-Vs and 2 Honda Odysseys, 6 Samsung home entertainment systems and 25 Sea Australia holidays to the Novotel destination of your choice. Plus, there's millions of instant win prizes. It really is totally awesome.
No deposit interest free.
I'm now at LaCornu.
Have Tic Tacs with me? Because one Tic Tac refreshes for 2 hours and has only 2 calories. So I can have 2 hours of Tic Tac freshness for just 2 calories. Great, huh?
No deposit interest-free. I'm now at LaCornu.
Hello? Yeah, look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I can send you a quit book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131 848. 131 848.
Fantastic game at Football Park. It's all over, and Adelaide are the winners. 15-11, 101 have defeated Brisbane 14-10-94 by 7 points. They led at every change. 5 points at quarter time, 18 points at half time. Got out to a 34-point lead in that third term before leading at three-quarter time by 15 points and hanging on in a thriller to win by 7 points. Brisbane were gallant, Chris McDermott, but in the end, Adelaide held the whip hand for most of the night.
Yeah, they certainly did. It wouldn't have probably been fair had Adelaide lost the game. They certainly held sway most of the night. They were tremendous, tough at the contest, had some winners on ball up forward, and certainly deserved a fantastic win with the Adelaide footy team.
As they assemble for the team song, this will be sung with great gusto. Amazing scenes here at Football Park. They sang it loud in the dressing room. They also sang it very loud behind us here. The crowd had stayed to watch it on the screen. And there is the full-time score. Adelaide 15-11, 101. Have defeated Brisbane 14-10, 94. Daniel Shell with 4 goals. A host of players with 2 for Adelaide. While for Brisbane, Alistair Lynch kicked 4, Black kicked 2. What a fantastic contest. It just promised so much from before the game. It was tight. They got away. Brisbane fought back. Let's head downstairs to the winners' rooms. Here's Francis Leach.
Well, Mark, you hit that one the hard way in the end.
Oh, we knew it was going to be a tough one. Brisbane are always going to come back no matter how far you're in front. So, yeah, it was a great win for the boys.
You had plenty of the footy tonight as well.
Yeah, it was good. I think throughout the whole year we've had a lot of players getting a lot of the ball, and we're a real team effort again tonight, and that's what we need to beat Brisbane.
What was really impressive was the ability to use the football under enormous pressure, and this side really has come on in leaps and bounds in that regard.
Yeah, we did a lot of training over the pre-season, a lot of competitive work with the ball in tight, and against sides like Brisbane and Essendon and Port Adelaide, you've got to be good in tight in the big games, and we were tonight.
You certainly were, Mark. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Mark Rasciuto there with Francis Leach straight after the final siren there. Pretty happy Mark Rasciuto, 29 touches for him. He was important. As we take a look at the stats from both sides, in the end Adelaide just nudged ahead in kicks. It was pretty close all night, and handballs as well.
Yeah, they certainly had a lot of footy, and the contested possessions, I thought they really dominated the ground level tonight.
In the end, inside 50s, 52-39. It was one heck of a struggle.
And the centre breaks too. I mean, they won the last 5. When the game was there to be won, they were fantastic out of the mid.
It was important, wasn't it? Because Brisbane had to start their defence from deep on their own goal line. Let's head downstairs to the winners' rooms. Here's Francis Leach.
Matty Boat, have you played in a better game?
No, it was a great effort. It was always going to be a huge game during the week, and it was always pumped up by the media and that sort of stuff. So to get out on top was pretty special in the end.
Now, you won a very important ball in that last 5 minutes over on the wing where we're standing in front of the Adelaide Crows change rooms. That was a really hot spot to be in at that stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just trying to get the ball every time and just pump it forward. We were trying to do that in the last quarter. We always knew that they were going to come back at us pretty hard because they're such a good team, and they did that. So it was just good to hold them off.
In the middle this tonight was fantastic as well. Everyone talks about the Brisbane midfield, but you and your mates in there really worked hard and won probably more footy in the middle than them.
Yeah, the ball was actually really slippery and then the first half we were just trying to handball the ball and play, I suppose, dry weather football. But because of the amount of dew on the ground, it was just a real bit of a wet game, so we just had to pump it forward in the end, and we're glad to come out on top.
And when the crowd gets behind you with those last couple of goals, it really does lift the team, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've been awesome this year. We try to win every game at home, and I think we've only dropped 1, so if we can win as many as we can at home, then we should have a pretty good season.
Well, congratulations on a great night tonight.
Thanks a lot.
So Matthew Bowe, just one of the midfielders, and what an important ball that was that he won in the last quarter there to give that last goal, which basically sealed the game.
It was a beauty. That's his strength. Ball at ground level, tough kid, kicked some good goals, and very, very important touch, that one. That turned the game for him.
Alistair Lynch almost threatened to steal it off his own boot at one stage in that final term.
You get Nathan Bassett taken off here. You've had a pretty good night. He was tremendous. Took some contested marks, kicked the goals. You're right, nearly won the game for him. Forced Nigel Smart onto him, and Nigel just quieted into the last couple of minutes.
Amazing situation to be almost 6 goals down and get back to within, almost pinching the game. If you hadn't seen it, you'd think Brisbane suddenly clicked into gear and slammed a whole heap of goals on in a hurry. It wasn't that way at all, was it? They just worked their way back into the game, almost haphazardly at times, but just kept going and going and going.
Yeah, they never really got momentum tonight, Brisbane. It just looked a bit stop-starty, their game, and they grounded out. That's the pleasing thing. But they've got some work to do. You know, they're not the clear-cut favourite that we thought they probably were going to be.
So Alistair Lynch finished with 4 goals. He was their major goal scorer. Rasciuto, 29 possessions for Adelaide. Kane Johnson, 28. Bode, 24. Goodwin and Hart, 20. McLeod, just the 15 touches.
Yeah, got some important ones though, didn't he? I mean, a lot of those touches resulted in goals.
and he wasn't a dominant player, but had played a significant role.
Speaking of dominant, Nigel Lappin, 36 possessions. Black had 24 for Brisbane. Lappin was just outstanding. There's another game on tonight. It was Collingwood versus Sydney at Colonial Stadium in Melbourne. It's all over. If you don't want to know the score, look away now. So jubilant Adelaide Crows, as they came off the ground after the final siren. They've got themselves to 7-3. They haven't been traditionally good starters, Adelaide, so to be 7-3 almost halfway through the season is fantastic.
They're in for a tough month. The most important thing, they've beaten the top 8 side now. They've got credibility in this competition as we go into a big weekend of footy. 3 games still to come in round 10. Hawthorn and Port Adelaide at York Park tomorrow. Yeah, Port are in pretty reasonable form, so are Hawthorn. I think I lean to Port.
St Kilda versus West Coast Colonial Stadium. Interesting game, that one.
It is an interesting game. St Kilda a lot better last week, but I like West Coast. They're going okay.
And Fremantle and Carlton at Subiaco. It's all over here at Football Park. In the end, it was Adelaide by 7 points. Chris, thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure.
Hope you've enjoyed the game. Still plenty more action to come right across round 10. But tonight, it's good night from Football Park.
The AFL Premiership Season 2002, brought to you by its premier partner, Carlton and United Breweries, and our telecast sponsors, Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL, Strathfield, Ford dealers, ordinary people doing extraordinary deals, Nintendo GameCube, get into it.